This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately.
What's going on, freaks? There's Blue and Chloe. What's going on, Blue and Chloe? Yeah, it's so hot outside, it's ridiculous. It's about 100 and, I think I got up to like 104 or something. It's crazy. Let's see. Weather. Portland. Yeah, I guess I got up to 101. Supposed to be 108 coming up. I mean, when you step outside, it's like you're cooking or something. It's crazy. Alright, Kenneth Colton, member for 7 months. Let's see, it's ridiculous, humid and hot here too. Look at Blue over there. Just chilling. So as you can see at the upper left hand corner, we got the goal for the night again. You guys beat the goal last night, but it'd be great to reach it again. We just kind of keep on trucking here. Shows every single day. 7 days a week. Alright, so we're going to do the, let's see, what are we doing? I watched the, was it Dateline that did the special? It seems like it's been edited. Did 48 Hours do one and Dateline? And I can't remember the one that had the sister of Kohberger. Well, they said that she said that he was throwing away trash with gloves on. Cool, Tara. Yeah, so I was watching the Dateline one, and it seems like they edited it. Did they do 2 different shows or just one? It seemed different this time. They changed the name, too. Remember it was, like, Killings on King Road or something, and then it got changed. Yeah. Man, I wish I was laying right there where Blue is. He looks like he's about as comfortable as you could ever be. So was there 2 different ones that Dateline did? Because it doesn't seem to have some of the same stuff that it had in it before. I wonder if they were asked to take stuff out of it. I don't know. Plus, this one seemed different. It had these other podcasters on there that wildly speculate like everybody else, but somehow they're more credible. Yeah. Okay, so Dateline did 2 of them. Okay, maybe I was watching the second one. And it was interesting because when I watched this one, they were talking about how, you know, Kaylee's boyfriend at one time was a suspect for a lot of people out there. And, you know, I was just I had a theory with him in it originally. It wasn't I didn't accuse anybody of anything. See, by the way, do you guys think there's a difference between a theory and accusing somebody? I think there's I believe there's a massive difference. Thanks, Cali Gal 3 and American Lady. Yeah, you're not late. We're just starting right here. Yeah. Blue looks like he's just so comfortable. I mean, look at that. I mean, you gotta admit, like, there is no. I don't think you've ever seen a more comfortable. Here, let's just zoom in on this one. Hold on a second. Look at that. Are you kidding me? He looks like he could sleep for 9 hours. It's awesome. Hey, thank you, L&O. Wow, you guys are so kind. Thank you very much. Put it right there. Blue, did you hear us talking about you? Thank you so much, L&O. Oh, cool. We get the cat eye and the avocado dance coming up.
Oh, good. I'm not late. Sweet baby Blue knows how to nap.
Yeah, he does have those ears. Thank you, Tito. And then we're going to get Ellen with the avocado dance. Let's try to get... Oh, God, that was perfect. Even ends at the exact same time. That's right, the avocado dance. Excellent. So anyways, you guys think that there's a difference between... Because I do, you don't have to, but I think if you theorize on something, it's different than accusing somebody. What do you guys think? Ah, Nicole. I'm waiting for Cindy to come in and say, what does part 2 mean? Well, it means there was a part 1. Okay? Well, I just thought it was funny. I guess apparently because I don't do ones that say 1 and 2, sometimes it was confusing. Yeah, so here's what a theory sounds like. Watch this. When you say something like, so here's a scenario that is possible since law enforcement is saying that it's a crime of passion, and we've got these phone calls. Maybe it's possible that the boyfriend of you go through and have a theory, right? An accusation is when you say this person did it. Okay, and it was interesting listening to that episode of Dateline is they were talking about that, and then they said a week later they finally cleared him, and then the rumors kept going. Well, in my case, as soon as they cleared that person, I never talked about him again as being a suspect or anything even remotely akin to that. And I'm not sure what the deal was there, why they brought up the phone calls made by the boyfriend early on. They're absolutely irrelevant to the case. So, I guess what it shows signs of life, that they're still alive at a certain time, but there was no reason to put that out there. So, the people who put that information out are, somewhat responsible for the speculations that people made, because it almost seemed like they put it out there to point in his direction. It was really weird. It's like, well, he was called all these times and he didn't answer. It almost seemed like they were frantic because Kaylee called a whole bunch of times, then Madison called 3 times, and then Kaylee called one more time, and then he never answered the phone call. So it makes you feel like there was something else going on there. Danielle, you don't know how it went. I know exactly how it went. They're the ones that put out the phone calls. Then later they said, gosh, I don't know why anybody's looking in. That we don't know why they're looking into him, meaning law enforcement. Because the first week of the press conferences, they didn't clear him. Then later they said, yeah, it's not him. Okay, but they're the ones that put out those damn phone call records. So I think that was a little bit irresponsible to do that at that time. Okay, because that is what led to that information. And the fact that they let everybody know that they had just broken up, they shared a dog together. And so those are the kinds of things that lead to that. Okay, but once law enforcement cleared that person, then it's meaningless. Yeah, none of that stuff means anything at that point. Right. It's the people who keep going and accuse somebody. Oh God, this guy's suspicious. Look at he's got this. No, they've already cleared him. Oh yeah, but so what, man? They're just saying that. What do I keep missing, Iris? Gray keeps missing that comment. What does that mean? I don't think it's fair to suspect everybody, Daniel. Yeah. Like, I think it was ludicrous that anybody was talking about Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk, you know. Ridiculous stuff there. And I'm not sure what you're talking about, Iris. You say, Gray keeps missing that comment. Psychic in chat told who done it. I don't know what you're talking about. I still can't ignore conversation. They're going to kill you guys for that. That never happened. W. Smith. I don't see any psychics in here. Oh, yeah, there it is. I'm very connected to this case. Oh, I bet. Yeah. Hold on a second. Hold on. We got a verified psychic in everybody. A verified psychic. Let me hear what the spirits have to say about the psychic. At the hut. Stupid! Oh, Gilligan, little buddy, skip up! Shit! Oh, there it is. Did you hear it at the end, everybody? Did you hear at the very end? It said bat shit. Now, if it kept playing, my batteries wore out right there. If it kept playing, it would have said bat shit crazy. All right, and so that's exactly what well, I don't care what you're trying to say. Genocide, you're full of crap, and you're now hidden from the channel. Thank you very much. All right, have a good day. I feel bad for Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk. People are continuously attacking them without any evidence to support it. I think this is BK's own exam. What do you think? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Where did people come in? I think this was BK's own exam. What do you think? What? What are you talking about? Thought he was interviewed. Sorry. What does that mean? We should show some more grace to what? People who claim that they're psychics, who prey on the victims of victims' family members when they're desperate, and they come in and try to pretend that they have connection? No, I don't think so, Tara. They will not ever get any grace from me. I can tell you that right now. I think psychics and people that pretend that they're serious. Now, if you want to do it as sort of a joke and like, hey, everybody, hey, this is fun, and, you're just kind of making light of it, go for it. But if you try to pretend that you're literally communicating with spirits and they're guiding you through shit, you can just, find another place to go. This isn't going to be a place for you. You get what I'm saying? I hope you don't mind. I think we should all find a little bit more grace. All right. Well, how about you find a little bit more brains? That might work. Yeah, this is part 2 tonight. All right, so we're going to get moving on here. I think what we should do is kind of quickly rip through the ones that we did yesterday. We'll just read them. I'll just read them over here. I'll tell you what, though. What I'm going to do is I'll unhide the psychic. If they come back in and keep trying to sell the same garbage, then I'll hide them, right? Because that's not having grace, is it? Alright. Always freak out on chat, yeah. The first couple days due to... I don't know what that means. Right. If you make one more comment, though, about what you're trying to pretend that you know, that kind of stuff, we're going to have to remove you. Alright? We don't do that here. This is just a fact-based... Here's what we get, everybody. I'm just going to let you know. So on this channel, we do a fact-based show where we go based on the information given and try to speculate reasonably on that. What we have happen here is psychics show up to the show, and they hide around in the background and they listen to a reasonable, well thought out theory. They take notes and everything. Then they pretend that they're speaking to ghosts somewhere else on the internet and come up with something that's pretty reasonable and has a likely chance of being real, and pretend that they got it from spirits out there. Okay, I find that to be absolutely disgusting. Okay, but that is what they do. All right, and what they do is they'll find a few rational theories and they'll post them in different places. And guess where they go? The place that was the closest to their theory, and then say, "Look, everybody, look at me." I don't know what you're talking about, Tara. If you have a psychic abilities, right? Well, here's what I always tell everybody. When people say that they're psychics, you got to ask yourself a question. Why do the ghosts always just give hints? Why don't they just walk right up to you and say, "The name of the killer is Bryan Kohberger. He is a doctorate," but it would sound like this. Listen. University of Idaho. University of Washington. Kohberger. Oh, did you hear Kohberger? Yeah. Find me the ghosts who speak clear English, all right, where they literally just say, "Hey, it's Bryan Kohberger." Well, Gray, it doesn't work like that. Well, I know it doesn't work like that, because if it worked like that, you'd be full of crap. I don't quit talking about your energy, okay? Nobody cares about the energy or surrounding the case, okay? I told him that Tara, he just jumped down. Huh? I don't even know what you're talking about. Who's Tara? What's going on? Can you read my comment? It was for DM and BF. Okay. Well, here's the thing. That's what the super chat buttons are for. I can't sit there and read everybody's comment in here. You do see how many comments are on the screen, right? And I'm actually talking and thinking about stuff. So I don't get to see every one of your comments. I know that's, you know, it's not cool and everything for you, but try to imagine when you have 60 people commenting and the comments are zipping by. How am I supposed to get to that? I didn't even see one of your comments, Tara. So now I have to scroll up, stop the show, because boy, your comment was the greatest comment in the history of the planet. So let me zoom up there. Read my comment, please. Okay, let me keep going way up there. You know what would have been better if you just retyped your comment one of the other times. We should sow some grace. Yeah, I see you say we should sow some grace. I read what you said. Yep, I saw that one. Where's the next one? I still can't ignore... Yeah, well, you should be able to ignore him. You're ludicrous if you think... What do you mean you still can't ignore Jack Showalter? You sound like a lunatic. He didn't get arrested for anything. And I'm in a good mood. This is pure lunacy. Hey, Tara, what are you talking about? See, I think what we've got right here are trolls showing up from elsewhere. If you know what if you catch my drift. Yeah. Right. Let's see. On most streams, the chat just talks amongst ourselves. Yeah. See, here's the thing. When I do my show, I'm actually doing a show. I'm talking. I look at the chat from time to time to see what people are, just a general thought, and then I go back to what I'm doing. Okay. And so we got the, it's one of those things where people show up, they start throwing out a bunch of garbage in the stream, and then I react a certain way, and then the people who wanted me to react that way get really excited about it. Oh, look at Gray, look at, see how he's, all right. I think the psychics that show up in cases of missing persons and murders are a disgrace to mankind, okay? That's the grace I'll show. I'm enjoying this, but have to walk away from the laptop for a minute. Okay. Well, thanks for letting us know. Well, we were all on pins and needles. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I interact with chat when I can see it. I'm just trying to figure out what this Tara and the other person saying, yeah, he was rude to you when you said... Blue meant... Tara Blue meant we should all have grace for Dylan and Bethany. Well, good for her. Yeah, good for her. Yeah, well, I mean, I agree with that one. Okay, but type the whole thing in one sentence so people can see it. Some of your comments were deleted, so I wasn't able to read through them. Try not to be rude yourselves. Have you ever thought of that? It's not always the host. Yeah, when you're talking, you go like this. How come he didn't read my comment? And then the next one. How come he didn't read my comment? Why didn't you just type it in again? I may have seen it that time, right? Anyways, what a complete waste of time the last like 5 or 6 minutes has been. Thank you very much. Yeah. So let's go back through the ones from yesterday. So how do you think Kohberger's early life shaped, and now that we kind of went through last night, how do you think it shaped who he became, or how his early life indicated who he would become? See, I don't know if anything really indicated. He was just probably an introverted person who was a psychopath who eventually unleashed his feelings on the world. I think he's always been right. Well, it wasn't, Tara. I think you were rude as hell. Okay, thank you very much. And if you contradict that again, I'm going to remove you from the channel. Thank you very much. All right. Let's see. The next one is, what was the significance of the Reddit research questions? Right? We asked about that one. I think that was kind of like a blueprint of what he was going to be doing. I mean, it was amazing. He literally wanted to look up various things that sort of matched exactly what he did on that day.
The goal tally is not working. Have fun. Great. THX.
Hey, thank you very much to Pamela Dasgupta and Ria Mazaron. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, he was pretty good, right, Plato? Mm-hmm. And yeah, so if you're saying, I will say this, if you're saying have some grace for Dylan, and then that's great. You didn't put it in the same sentence, and then you said it right when I said I was talking about the psychics. All right. What type of execution methods they use in Idaho? I don't know. Don't they still have firing squad there? No, you're not really late, Zoe 413. There is a late fee, however. Yeah, right. We knew where this person was coming from. So, right. Yeah, there's all kinds of great channels out there that peddle in complete garbage. We're just going over the factual information of the case and asking questions about what you might think of various things. Okay, so I think the research project was pretty much kind of a blueprint. Did Bryan Kohberger stalk or conduct surveillance operations regarding the residents of 1122 King Road? Right? I think he did. What do you guys think? I think he absolutely did. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's cool, right, Phil? You're also removed from the channel. Good luck to you. Nobody asked you to pay. It was a joke. What was his job in the military? Whose job? I get headaches from the stories. Okay, the next one was, did Bryan Kohberger have one victim in mind on November 13th, 2023, on the night of the murders? Well, there's people that think that he went there to, you know, some people actually believe what my original theory, that they killed, he killed Xana and Ethan first because he had to get them out of the way to go up and kill the girls upstairs. Okay, so that's a theory out there, but it's more like, was there a victim that night? Wasn't he able to see through the window up there that there were two people, that it was Kaylee and Madison? Was he aware that Kaylee was back in town? And is that why he went there? Because Kaylee just happened to be there? I mean, maybe he found on social media, hey, see you tonight. And he was like, oh, crap, that's the one I really want. And that's why he was there that particular night. He chose that night because she was staying there. Is that a possibility? Or was it that he'd been stalking Madison, and then eventually, when he chose that night, Kaylee just happened to be there? Oh, yeah, I forgot to put the super freaks, and there we go. Yes, obviously, why? Yeah. Anyways, then the next one was, did Bryan Kohberger have one victim in mind on November 13th? Okay, did Kohberger sit behind the house on each pass that he made? Like when he drove around, on the videos that I've put together, when he drove around and he's right by the residence, did he sit there for 2 or 3 minutes, kind of surveil to see if the lights are going off, and then drive away? I think he did do that. And then, what do you think the sequence of the killings were? That was, most people believe that it was Madison, Kaylee, Ethan, then Xana. Who do you think was the target? I guess that's similar up to the one up there. So you can type in who your target was. No. We can do whatever we want. No future. I'm going to do whatever I want to. I believe Kohberger is absolutely 100% guilty of the murders, and I'm discussing the case because I believe that. Now, if you're one of the wackos out there that think that Bryan Kohberger is somehow innocent, then you can go ahead and do that too. But let me just tell you this: you are going to be absolutely wrong. So don't try to pretend at the very end. Here's what's going to happen. He's going to be found guilty, and there's going to be channels that go on for years saying they got the wrong guy, because that keeps selling for them. It keeps an angle to keep covering the case, right? Ethan, Xana. Yeah, I mean, that was my original theory, John Lowry, that it was Ethan, Xana, Maddie, Kaylee, just like that. I don't know if it was Kaylee or Maddie, first in that order, but that's my original theory. It just seems like, the more likely theory is that he went upstairs first. You also have the sheath up there, so maybe it fell out when he attacked them. Don't know. He could have attacked somebody else, then it fell out. Then the fact that the sheath is up there doesn't mean he attacked them first. That's what I've tried to explain to people. No, the PCA doesn't say anything about that. No, that's incorrect, Irish badass. Sorry about that. That's not how it went. He said, I'm here to help you. He wouldn't have said, I'm here to help you, unless he'd already stabbed and attacked them already. So the target was likely... Here's the scenario that I think happened. I don't know if I can't say I think happened. This is just a scenario that puts all the elements together. That he goes into the house at about 4:08 in 30 seconds or so. Then he goes upstairs first because he knows where that is. He's looking through the windows all the time. Goes through the kitchen, then up the stairs. He's probably also seen the window that you can see people going up the stairs, so has a general idea of where that is. So then he goes upstairs, and the sound that Dylan Mortensen heard that sounded like Kaylee playing with the dogs was actually around 4:08 or 9, something like that, 4:09, and it's him killing Madison and Kaylee upstairs. Then, I don't know, maybe that was, and we don't even know. I think he might have gone into the house at like 4:10, to be honest with you. But he goes in there, he kills them, then he goes downstairs, and Ethan is heading out. So he he sees him, so he kills him, and then there's Kaylee or Xana coming out of the room, and so he goes in there and he kills her, and then he realizes, oh shit, where's my sheath? Because he's trying to put everything, put his knife back away. Where's my sheath? So then maybe at that point he went upstairs to try to find the sheath at that point, and he can't find it because it's actually underneath the quilt on the bed. So everyone goes, oh, he should have been able to find it. Well, it's underneath the quilt, and it was right next to her body, so he's probably looking around on the floor, just in general on top of things, didn't see it. Then, as he's going back downstairs, he hears Xana whimpering and still making sound. Then he said, hey, I'm here to help you, so that she doesn't scream at this point, because she's obviously already been hurt and attacked when he says, it's okay, I'm here to help you. Or you think he killed Ethan and then said that to her because she was scared, but she just saw him kill. So that doesn't make sense. So then he kills Xana at that point, probably 4:17, and then exits the house, goes up, does whatever he does with his clothing and so forth, and then gets in the car at 4:20 and zips away. No, we went through it last night. If you watched the show last night, if anybody took the time, I had a clown that watched the first 20 minutes and said, I came here for a discussion, and all you did was read the New York Post, you bastard. And somebody goes, I agree. And what's weird is, that was like the only article I read. I even asked you guys, you want me to keep reading this thing? And then the whole rest of the show was discussions regarding the questions, and it was really interesting. So it just kind of shows you what we have out there are just these people who don't take the time to figure out what the hell's going on. That's right, Rogers. I'm so mean. Hey, Danielle, I'll just comment on stuff I want to comment on. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. What do you mean, never mind that? I want to comment on people that are stupid like that. Okay, that's ridiculous. You didn't even watch anything. He said it so you would ask this silly question. What? No second person. He said it so you would ask. What? That doesn't even make any sense. Just give, yeah. So now here we go, you guys. We got one of the trolls again. So get rid of that one. Don't even have to read it. What do we got on this one? Yeah. Yeah, I think he went there. See, my main theory is that he went there to kill all the people in the house. Okay? I think he went there to kill every one of the girls there. Specifically, I think, another theory of that is he went there to kill the 3 girls that were killed are the ones he went there to kill. Because those 3 were closer friends than Bethany and Dylan were, as we talked about last night. So it's Kaylee and Madison are best friends. And then I think Xana was really good friends with those 2, but wasn't quite as close, you know what I mean? And then you have Dylan and Bethany, who are not really as close. They're all friends, but they're not as close. They're sort of a little outside on the edge of the circle. So I think it's possible that those 3 were who he actually intended to target, and not Dylan or Bethany. He didn't know anything about them. The other 3 worked together. 2 of them worked together. 2 of them are best friends. So it kind of makes a little bit of sense there. Thank you, Jessica Schubach. He might not have known Ethan was there. Yeah, I don't think he knew Ethan was there at all. And you don't get a really good view. As he was driving by, he doesn't get to see much through the window of the 1122 King Road address of Xana's room, right? You just kind of drive by. The other one, you can park back there and look in Kaylee's room and Madison's room and the stairs for hours. And I think that's what he's done. I think he's sat there and gone through it all. All right. And so here's the thing is, why do you think they were the target? The ones that you think are targeted, why do you think that's why? So many crazy people in here. Why do these cases attract such absolute, the bottom feeders of societies? I mean, just show up, try to be rational and think through stuff. We always get these crazy people. The Delphi case, the Idaho 4 case, nut jobs show up. It's just unbelievable. It's almost frightening. So you think Xana was the target. Why do you think Xana was the target, Gene Fish, when he went upstairs and killed 2 other people? I don't agree with that. No, it doesn't say Xana's the target on the PCA. Yeah, I just explained to you, Irish Badass. That doesn't make any sense. Xana target, in my opinion, due to the PCA. Dylan Mortensen heard what she thought was crying coming from Coronato's room. Dylan Mortensen then said she heard a male voice say something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. That just doesn't really make sense to me. Okay, here's a scenario that would make that work. Let's see. He went there. He killed Ethan, and that was out in the hallway. So Xana didn't notice who killed Ethan. And so she opens the door and he goes, "Hey, it's okay, I'm here to help." And he goes in there and attacks her. So I guess that's a possibility. Xana and Ethan were my original theory on who were attacked first because of that sentence. But I thought it was that he killed... Well, it wasn't because of the sentence. It was just that he's the one that said that. Right, we're not going to get to know. I think he targeted them because he was an incel, and yeah, I think he definitely was an incel. They had dog in the house. Is there any of the video where... No. Well, people say they can hear a dog barking. I don't agree. I just don't think Ethan was killed first. I think third. Right, so people think you went up to kill Madison and Kaylee, then Ethan, then Xana. But it could be that when he came in, he knew that the lights were on. So here's the thing is, Bryan Kohberger knew that the lights were on the second floor. It's very possible that he saw the DoorDash driver. Somebody wrote something that they think the DoorDash driver came at 4:10 or something, and that's why her TikTok was still on. He was likely in the house at that time. I mean, wouldn't that be interesting if that's true? And Ethan went down to get the food from the DoorDash driver, and then when he came up, he saw Kohberger, and Kohberger saw him after he'd already killed Kaylee and Xana, and then he chases him to the door and then kills him, and then Xana opens the door and he goes, "Hey, I'm here to help you," and then he kills her too. Then he goes upstairs. The problem is at 4:17 you hear whimpering and whining, and then a thud. So what was that one? Was that one? There's nobody. I would assume that the thud is a person on the floor, wouldn't you? What does Jack D have to do with anything, Kyle? He has absolutely none of the people named Jack. None of them have anything to do with this case anymore. Okay. No, his name was Jack, Lisa, though. Or Maddie's boyfriend, Jake. Yeah, so there's Jake, Jack, and Jack. How crazy is that? Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing. It's either Xana or Ethan is the thud sound, right? Because Kaylee and Madison were both on the bed on the 3rd floor. Yeah, there's a Jack that's Kaylee's boyfriend, Jack D, and then another Jack that is a friend of Kaylee and Madison, I guess friends of them, and was walking them home from the corner club and then the grub truck and everything. And then there's Jake, the boyfriend of Madison. I mean, man, how confusing can you get? I could see a body later identified as Coronato's laying on the floor. Also in the room was a male, later identified as Ethan Shape. Right. That doesn't mean anything. Yeah, we already went through all that many times. It just means that that's what he saw when he came in. But when you read, there's one document out there that said that he was in the doorway. Ethan was. So it gets kind of, it's confusing at times what they wrote. So we're just going to have to wait till later. We don't know if he was propped up against the door, John. Well, it said doorway, you know. I have my images with him in the hallway. I have no idea. Okay, so anyways, let me get down here. Did Bryan Kohberger leave the sheath on purpose? That was a good question. Did he leave the sheath on purpose? What do you think? I don't see anybody like that. Tell one of the moderators, they can get rid of him. Just a second. I don't know. What makes them a troll? Did Bryan... No, I don't... See, here's the thing is, I don't think he went back to look for the sheath. I think it's almost ludicrous when people say that. Oh, yeah. Boy, he went back at 9 to get this... I was originally thinking that. Like, but then just sit back and think for a minute. See, I got these people that say this. Oh, when he left on the drive home, he realized he was missing his sheath. So then he went home and took a nap and went back to get it. So he went back to get it at 9 o'clock when the town people are up and moving around and likely cops would be there. That doesn't make any sense at all. Wouldn't he have turned around when he as soon as he got home, go back over there because it's still 6 in the morning and people aren't awake yet. He could sneak in and out. 9 o'clock is ridiculous. And here's the thing is, I don't, if he did go back there to get it, it wouldn't shock me a bit. It just doesn't make any sense. You're going to go there at 9 o'clock, and 9:20 you get there, or something. 9:15 you get there, and you're going to go, what are you going to do, pull up your car? And okay, let me ask you this. If he went there to look for the sheath, why didn't he go into the house? Because nobody had been there yet. Why didn't he do it? I mean, there was no cops or nothing. Why didn't he pull right up there? He should be on camera again. Pull right up in there and go inside the house. I don't agree with it at all. I think he was there to see his handiwork. There was no activity at that house at that time in the morning. He should have gone inside then if that's what he was looking for. Yeah, well, he didn't even show up. Show me where the white Elantra shows up on that day. They don't talk about that. I think he was driving around on the streets over there looking. Okay, how important do you think the touch DNA on the sheath is? Yeah. So it won't shock me, by the way, if Xana and Ethan are first. That was always my first theory, but it seems like over time it makes more sense that you went upstairs. But does it really? I mean, I'm not sure why that makes more sense. Yeah, I think it's. I think the touch DNA is really important, but it's not crucial. So, how did the DNA get on the on the sheath? It was just kind of, See, some people think, oh, it's touch DNA. It could have came from anybody. So, do you think Bryan Kohberger is the source of the DNA on the sheath? What do you guys think about that? Is Bryan Kohberger the source of the DNA on? Like, is he the one that transferred it there? So I guess absolutely the source, but is Bryan Kohberger the one who is transferred the DNA onto the sheath? Okay, so if that's true, then that means it's absolutely his sheath that was left there, right? Okay. How important was the bushy eyebrow description by Dylan? I think that was really important, to be honest with you. Because I think she's probably been able to look at something and go, oh, yeah, that was him. How long did it take for Kohberger to kill all of his victims? So on the show last night, if you watched, I turned on, so he gets there at 12 after, or not 12, 8 after, and leaves at 20. So let's say he gets in the house at 10. We did a timing of 7 minutes from 4:10 to 4:17, and it is, you just sit there and it takes forever. Okay, so the thing is the murders easily could have been done in 4 or 5 minutes, you guys. And that is the truth. 4 or 5 minutes. And we sat there when we were done. I even sat there and gave extra time, and we were just kind of visualizing. A lot of extra time. And then even when we were all done, there was still 3 or 4 minutes left on the 7. It's crazy. Now, it's not just possibly. It easily could be done in 4 or 5 minutes. And less. We just did it last night. And I even did the part, okay, here you're walking. You're going like the... Like, just watch my walkthrough video on my animation. It's a regular speed. He goes through the whole house in like a minute. So all you're doing the rest of the time is killing people. And by the way, everybody, if you'd like to help support the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I see this massive lull that we've had here. So if you'd like to help support the channel, it helps, allows me to keep doing these shows every single night that I do. And if you're not familiar with the channel, at the end of the month, I like to donate a huge portion of my income to various true crime charities. And we do it live on the show and verify every single bit of it. And we've donated $163,600 since January 2020. And it's all verified. We have a DNA fund with over $60,000 in it to identify Jane and John Does. And the only way to make that happen is if you guys help support the channel on a nightly basis. Like Kit Kat right there. Thank you. How's it going, Kit Kat? Yeah. I want to see Kit Kat time somebody out. So, anyways, thank you very much. All right. Okay, so did Kohberger see the DoorDash delivery given he was completing pass number 3 at 3:58? I think the DoorDash delivery is a reason why he did that extra turnaround on pass number 4. What do you guys think about that? Hey, thank you so much, Lisa Valenzuela and Allison Cosgrove. Gray, you are the only one I'm listening to anymore on this case. Well, thank you. Yeah. Thanks for being a common sense channel. Much appreciated. Well, thank you. That was nice. Yeah, some people don't like my personality, like, you know, and sometimes I misread stuff in the chat. I will be, you know, I know that for certain that I misread stuff, but one of the problems is when you're writing in the chat, don't try to write like you're having a conversation with me. Okay, when you write in the chat and you want me to see it, write the full sentence out again. And I know it's frustrating, but that's the only way it works for me, because I haven't had a dialogue. Like somebody types something later and then you go, and by the way, that wasn't funny. And I go, what do you mean it wasn't funny? What are you talking about? And then I have to find up there and you say, oh, I watched this show last week. And by the way, it wasn't funny. Yeah. Yeah. I've done a lot of unsubscribing, but not here. Hey, well, thanks. Billy. Is it Via Real? Yeah, 8 minutes is a long time. Again, on your own, everybody. Put a clock to 7 minutes and visualize in your head the amount of time walking into the house, walking down through the kitchen. Now you're heading up the stairs. I mean, we did it last night. It literally, and I even waited extra 15 seconds multiple times. 15 seconds is a tremendous amount of time with somebody with a knife. Okay, so just do that times, make it 20 seconds and multiply that by 4 people. And now it's only a minute 20. And then the rest of the time he's just ambulating around, doing, moving. I still question two women that. God. Jesus. We don't do that on here, Kelly. All right, we don't discuss them at all. I'm sorry, I don't question them at all. All right, I think that Dylan Mortensen was exactly what she said, that she was in frozen shock phase, absolutely crazy. I think she heard a tremendous amount of horrendous things and was petrified. Okay, so if you want to talk about that stuff, go to another channel, please. I don't do that here. And like somebody said earlier, regarding them, I guess they said that have some grace, okay? I believe he could have done it in that time, specifically if coked out. I think he could have done it in 4 minutes. Just go do it yourself. Sit around, look at a clock, look at the time. So I think he might have pulled up there at, you know, the interesting part is if he pulled up there at 4:08 and 30 seconds, does he have a whole other change of clothes that he got into and then got into the house at like 4:12 even, for God's sakes? And then he goes up there and he, you know, takes him 5 minutes to kill them all. Then he leaves and then he changes back out from the dark clothes to what he had before, putting those clothes in a bag or something. So there's a lot of time there. It is being mean, Kelly. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you still question. Who cares? See, when you here's the thing, everybody. This is how it works. If you're still questioning Dylan and Bethany, that means you're implying they have some kind of relationship to the murders. Other than that, it doesn't matter, right? So then why talk about it? You get what I'm saying? See, this is what I don't do these sort of side, why did they do this type of thing? It just doesn't mean anything. So think about it again. If you're asking about, if you're saying it still bothers me that Dylan, I'll go up and read it. Let me see. Where is that one? Is it right here? Yeah. I still question the two women that never called 911. Maybe he did know one of the two. Yeah, well, it's total garbage, okay? It has nothing to do with anything. See, it's... forget it. If you can't see it, then forget it. If you're still questioning Dylan and Bethany, you're implying they have a relationship to the murders. Boom. Right. That's true, right? I mean, isn't that true? Like, if you're sitting there saying out loud to people, hey, I think, well, you know, why didn't Dylan and Bethany call 911? Well, guess why you're asking that question? Because you think that there's some connection to the murder somehow, right? Because other than that, it doesn't mean anything. I'm trying to, I try to say stuff in a way that makes sense to people. But sometimes they just, I'm not saying that at all, Gray. Well, it is what you're saying. Think about it for a minute. Now, you might, like, what she set up above was something about, like, that maybe he knew one of them or something. But come on, that's... Yeah. Why would you leave someone alive who knows you did it? You wouldn't. It's common sense. Oh, I see. So a minute ago, when she said that, you're saying that means he would have known them. No, that's not. It's not what it's going on, Emerald. The chat's moving along just fine. There isn't a need for that. So you're incorrect. Thank you. All right. How significant do you think surveillance footage from 1330 Linda Lane and 1112 King Road cameras are? I think those are phenomenally important. They show the suspect vehicle, white Elantra. Likely the 1112 King Road camera shows that it's missing a front license plate because that camera is crystal clear. Now but see, Rebel, you didn't understand what was said, so you're off again. Sorry about that. Let's see, uber important video. Yeah, well, it's incredibly important. Let's see. I'll do this part again because I think this is where it's. So hopefully you guys have all seen my other videos on the 1330 Linda Lane video. Hopefully you've seen that. So look how absolutely clear this video is here with lights on all over the place. This is at 2 in the morning. Okay. Now it might not be, I think this would have been just as lit up because that's a street light lighting this spot up here. So here's what's going to happen here. You guys have all seen the other video, right? The 1112 King Road, the videos that I made where the car loops behind, right? You guys have all seen those, right? I'm going to do this again for the people who weren't here. So if you haven't seen it, you have videos to go watch. They're absolutely 100% accurate to the probable cause document. So what you're going to see is at 3:31, a car is going to come down. A white Elantra on this camera is going to go like this. It's going to come down this road. Then it's going to come towards the camera. And then you're going to see it show up again behind 500 Queen Road, which is the 1330 Linda Lane camera. Then it's going to go around the back of it. So let me just zoom in here. We'll just look at it from this angle. So you're going to see it drive. There's the camera that we're looking at right now. It's going to drive like this, come around. You'll see it on this camera here, and you'll be able to marry them up perfectly with the timestamps. Then it's going to come around like this, and I think it stops here for a few minutes, looking to see what progress they are in going to sleep. Then he drives this way again. That was at 3:31. And then you'll actually see the Elantra leaving the area on this camera, turning to the right. Then around 3:37 or so, it's going to come pulling back into the area like this. Drive right by the camera. Then we're going to look at this one again. It's going to go by like here and come in back here again. Come out. Likely sits here. And they're going to be able to know this. You guys. They're going to be able to tell because right here at this camera, it was 3:37 and 30 seconds or so. And then whatever time the camera goes by here, they're going to know how long the car sat here for, right? They'll know, like, for example, if it leaves over here at 3:40, they're going to go, oh, shit, what was he doing for those other 2 minutes? Well, he was sitting there. Now, if it fits perfectly with the time, that means he left and drove out simultaneously. He didn't slow down. You get it? So they're going to have that information on the camera. Then on the next loop, he went somewhere else. He did a longer drive, or he sat here for longer. So it took him 18 minutes this time, and there was a possible sighting at the Exxon here, so it's possible he went all the way out there, and then he came back, because that was right during that time at 3:44, which matches really closely, so he could have driven out there, then came back, and then at 3:57, you're going to see the white Elantra again. It's going to drive down here, because they have another camera over here that shows it coming into the area. Then we have the 1112 King Road camera again. You're going to see it on loop number 3, come down like this, drive by, then we go up in the air again, it's going to go like this, it comes back around, and then it goes to here again. Now this is around the time, hey, thanks Miller Aaron, thank you Gray for being rational with this case. I wonder if BK studied the layout of the home through the Zillow listing that was publicly online. Yeah, it could have. Definitely a possibility. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, it had every single room in there. Yeah, I think this is almost more important than the DNA, to be honest with you. I mean, except, you know, well, we'll get to those questions later. So here he goes. Then at 3:59, he's going like this. Again, this camera will show exactly when he was leaving. So let's go back to that. Now, you're going to see on loop number 3, the Elantra is going to go like this and exit the area. Okay. Then, at 4:04, the Elantra enters the area again. And we don't know if the DoorDash driver is still sitting there or not. It could be that he was just pulling out at that time. So it's coming down like this. And then we go back to this camera again. Where we go? Welcome, Emerald Rose 63. Is that the year you were born?
Thank you, Gray, for being rational with this case. I wonder if
Almost
he
the same
studied
age.
the layout of the home through the Zillow listing that was publicly online.
I think that's definitely a possibility. Wouldn't shock me a bit. So here's loop number 4, everybody. The car is going to be seen really clearly right here and turning, going like this. Now what if, at that moment, the DoorDash driver is just pulling out? So he drives by the DoorDash driver. I'm just saying a what if. Total speculation. He comes back here at like 4:05, and then he turns around. I think it was more like actually about 4:06. He comes back here, and he's right here, and he does a 3-point turn here. That's not the one they mentioned, though, on the probable cause. He does do another 3-point turn. He pulls in like this, backs up, then goes this way, and apparently right here, he tried to either turn up here or turn around or do something. So he probably, you know what he probably did, everybody? He drove this way to see if the DoorDash driver was still parked in front of the house, because you can't see it from here. So he probably drove up to right there and was going to try to turn around right here and go back that way. Or he was going to try to turn up here, but he couldn't. So then he goes down here, and what we're going to see on the camera again is the white Elantra at about 4:07 come over here like this, back up. I think it's probably going to turn this way, back up this way, and then go this way again. And then when it does that, you'll see on this camera where it comes back around, and this time it finishes it again and comes around and ends up over here likely at 4:08-ish. You know, 4:07 and 45 seconds, 4:08-ish. Then he gets out of his car, and then at 4:20, so here's one of the key pieces of information that I always try to emphasize, because I'm not sure people realize the gravity of it, is the white Elantra gets right around in here at 4:08. We've all seen it. It's on the surveillance footage. See this whole shape, this red shape right here? That's the only place that white Elantra could be without being seen on camera. So that means that white Elantra is in here. I suspect that it was parked right here and had a view of the house. Then 12 minutes later, after the car was parked here, you see it on this camera zipping away at a high rate of speed. Now, one of the things that I find interesting is there another camera right here even? So they might have 3 cameras here. And the reason I say that is because how do they know that the vehicle tried to park or turn around right here? How do they know that part? That it came in and it appeared to, when it was so when it turned around here and it came back this way, it tried to turn. How do they know that part? So somehow there must be another camera here, and if that's the case, man, they're going to have a whole bunch of stuff on that one. Like they're going to have this camera, this one, and be able to do the whole loop. You know, sort of wonder too if there lights that they were looking at. I didn't really think of that until just now. I wonder if we could take a look at that at some point. Maybe I'll try to look at that after the show, but you know, maybe after it made this turnaround, they can see that these lights do various things off some of these buildings and think, oh, it was probably trying to turn. Okay, anyways. So does that make sense? Thank you, your gypsy. How significant do you think surveillance footage for... Okay, so why do you think Kohberger was driving away at a high rate of speed? Why was he going at a high rate of speed? That would kind of draw attention to himself. My opinion is there was a lot of noise and commotion going on. And, you know, obviously has adrenaline and so forth. But he's getting the hell out of there, right? So we're just kind of going over the ones from last night.
Chewbacca?
But I think even with adrenaline, if he wasn't spooked, he would have driven rational speed. He wouldn't have gotten at a high rate of speed. Well, it's high rate of speed. It means more than he came in at. You know, like his surveillance mode that he had. Do you believe Kohberger ditched items, sorry for the spelling, during the 15 minutes of missing time? So there is 15 minutes of missing time. So another huge thing for me in this case is there's this white Elantra moving around in the town here. Now you might go, how do you link that to Kohberger's phone? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, his phone was turned off intentionally between 2:47 and 3:48, I think it is. So his phone isn't on here, so all there is this white Elantra moving around. And by the way, the white Elantra doesn't have a front license plate because when it drove by the A&W here, they could see it. And then after it drove by the A&W here, consistent completely with the time, it comes into the area right here and does pass number 1, 2, 3, and 4. But then after the murders on pass number 4, when he left at a high rate of speed, instead of leaving the same way he normally came, he went this direction on the map. I think it's exactly what I have here. Because look at it rationally. He's coming down. He's going to exit the area south of Moscow. Well, if you go this way, and like this, that's kind of a waste of driving to go like that. So he comes down this way, and he takes a right here. Why would you go down here this way and then up again? You wouldn't. So then you come down here, and you go straight, and then down, and then right now you're on, I think it's the Palusa River Drive or whatever, and then you just drive a little bit, and you're on Highway 90, I think it's 190, is it 95 or 195? I don't remember. Let's see. Yeah, 95, yeah. And then just after he leaves Moscow, Idaho, a mere 6 miles away, he goes, okay, I'm clear of the city. Turns his phone on at 4:48. So now you have a pretty strong link. I mean, it's almost to me irrational to believe that the Elantra now isn't connected to his phone pinging here at 4:48. And then some people will say, well, gosh, his phone pinged there at 4:48. He must be it was just a bad ping. He's still at home at this point. He's still at home when this phone pinged. Okay, but then his phone kept going around and pinging. Like the weird part is his phone pinged over here, and it kept pinging consistent with traveling around in these areas. And then the white Elantra magically shows up on exactly that same road at 5:25 right here, and then at 5:30 his phone pings again. Can I get a boom? I mean, this is like, I'm just telling you, if there's somebody on the jury that goes, I don't know, it's reasonable to think it's not, man. It's not reasonable whatsoever. Hey, thanks, Texas Annie. I think if I could say it just like this to the jury, they would be like, oh shit, you got it. You nailed it. All right? Gray, you're such a narcissist. Well, if you call being confident about something being a narcissist, then call me that all day long, okay? Thank you very much. Let's see. I wish the jury could see your... Yeah, well... Do you believe Kohberger ditched some items during the 15 minutes of missing time? Okay, so that's what I was going to tell you guys. That's what I was talking about this. You see, after he leaves here at 4... He comes out about here at about 4:25. I did the Google Maps version. So he could have stopped somewhere in there. I doubt it. You know, maybe threw something in garbage cans. Who knows? But from here to here, there's about 12 or 15 minutes of missing time. So I think somewhere around here, I actually circled this area over here, that it's possible that he, instead of going on 95 first, maybe came over down, did some weird little maneuver to get into here and threw some stuff in the woods over here really quick. There's no other way out there, so he would have necessarily had to go back the same way and then come back down. But I don't know. Could be anywhere along this route here. There's a lot of weird side roads here. But here's how you got to look at it. He wouldn't have thrown the items away with his phone on, right? So it has to be before the 4:48. So that means if he threw something away or items away it's before here, because he wouldn't be that stupid to throw away the items with his phone on and have law enforcement go, ooh, what was he doing over here? And go check it out. So his phone turns on at 4:48 right around in this area, and therefore the 15 minutes of missing time would be somewhere up in this range up in here. You get what I'm saying? I know, doesn't it suck when you think through things logically like that? Great, it's not logical at all, man. I don't believe you. Hey, thanks, Miller Aaron. I think he shut Xana's door. No one would notice anything right away. Gave him time to ditch the items. And huh? I don't get it.
He shut Anna's door so no one would notice anything right away. Gave
Oh,
him
yeah.
time to ditch the items, and roommates thought X, and he went to bed.
That makes sense. Yeah, like he tucked him in there, shut the door to give him more time because of like Dylan woke up, and even if she went down the hall and knocked on the door, she's not just going to open it up because there could have been something going on in there. What he's saying is, see, I understood what he said. So when Xana and Ethan were killed, he probably pushed them into the room and then shut the door behind them. Something like that. And that way it allowed for, people not quickly noticing bodies on the ground just by looking. And if you knock on the door, you're not going to open it, especially if it's a boyfriend-girlfriend situation. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, that's a pretty good question. What, if anything, do you think he kept as a trophy? Asked by Cheryl. Anything? You think maybe their IDs or something? Or no, well, knife he brought with him, so it wasn't a trophy. I guess you could think of it like that. Like start building up a wall of murder weapons. Well, we don't know if he had to keep one, Danielle. Yeah. So you can't use words like that. Like he had to have done something, or you can say, yeah, if he kept one, maybe it's this. Whimpering because she saw her boyfriend dead. You think that's all she'd be doing, Otto? Whimpering because her boyfriend's dead? She wouldn't be screaming, quickly getting on her phone and calling 911. I think that he went in there and he killed them both, and it was just kind of one quick thing. And that's why it is sort of interesting, the part I'm here to help, because I think so it makes you think that I guess there's a scenario where he killed Ethan first, and then she didn't see who killed him, and then immediately he sees her and he goes, hey, no, I'm here to help. And she was like, what do you mean? And sort of is confused. But what about the whimpering, though? See, that's why my secondary theory makes sense, where he goes in and he kills let's see, Madison and Kaylee first. Then he goes down and he runs into like Ethan or somebody. He kills him, and then then all of a sudden Xana pops out, and then he kills her. And then he realizes he's done killing people, and he's about to put his knife in a sheath or something. And he goes, "Where's my sheath? Where's my sheath?" Then he goes back upstairs and he looks for it really quick, and he doesn't find it because it's underneath the quilt. Then he goes back downstairs. So here's what the law enforcement's going to know: if there's any blood from Xana or Ethan upstairs, that means either my scenario worked or he killed them first. Meaning he went upstairs after he killed them. That's why there's blood and Xana upstairs. There's also the scenario that Ethan and Xana's blood could be upstairs if he had to go back up and check to look for the sheath. Then he comes downstairs and Xana's still alive. She's whimpering. And then he goes in there and says, hey, I'm here to help. Because he doesn't want her to scream or something. And then he kills her. And that's a scenario that actually works, putting all the parts together. Whether that happened or not, I don't know, man. I'm not married to any idea on the sequencing here. But if they find any of Kaylee and Madison's blood in Xana's room, then obviously it's very likely that they were killed first in that scenario. Do you guys agree with that? Thanks, Kathy Chapin.
Chewbacca?
Who knows, Bobby?
Oh, I'll be Chewbacca.
Danielle likes to throw out like the cliche things. Underwear, how do you think there was no DNA in the car? Because we were saying that earlier. He probably stashed stuff, and by the time they got to the car, he'd been over that car 1,000 times cleaning it. So what if he got there at 4? So you missed this part earlier, Zozo, so I'll say it again. He gets there at 4:08. Then he goes in there and he before he goes into the house, he changes out of the clothes that he's in, and he puts on the dark clothing, and he goes in there and he's wearing gloves, and he kills people in a way that minimizes the blood flying all over his body, like from behind or different things like that. And he kills them, and then he goes back out. Before he gets into his car, he takes off all the clothing, and his gloves he takes off last, puts them in a plastic bag, and then he puts on some other clothing that he had, the first clothing that he had, and he drives home in sort of a normal-looking outfit, not wearing all black. Oh, well, I'm just saying, there you go. That's a possibility. And maybe there was some blood transferred on there, but as long as he doesn't have it on his hands, right? So then he has, gosh, like a month to sit there and just keep cleaning the car over and over, looking for any last little spot of anything. So there you go. That's kind of where I am with that. And that would only take 2 or 3 minutes to change into the clothing there. And then he leaves at 4:17. And look how crazy that is. So watch this. He gets there at 4:08. He changes clothes in 2 minutes. 4:10, he goes into the house. Then in 7 minutes, he kills all of them. He gets out and takes 3 minutes to change out of those clothes back into the other clothes that he was wearing, and puts all the rest of them in a plastic bag. And then he takes off. Because don't you think it's weird that you hear the thud at 4:17, but he drives away at 4:20? Again, look at a clock for 3 minutes. He had plenty of time. He could have got to that car by 4:18 at the latest. Right? What happened, Melissa? Oh my God. Okay. Thanks, Miller Ellen. What about the latent shoe print? You wiped it up quickly. I don't know. They just have a latent footprint as he's leaving. That's the one by... So that's an interesting thing. So here's the thing. The latent footprint that is mentioned in one of the other documents.
What about the latent
I think that one speaks to sequencing more than any of the other stuff that we've talked about. Because think about when they said the latent footprint matches Kohberger leaving the residence as he passes Dylan Mortensen, and then he leaves the residence through the kitchen. Okay, so that means that footprint was left from blood from Xana and Ethan area. I guess it doesn't really speak to sequencing that much. It's just kind of, he didn't go back upstairs again after that. But see, that still could be the scenario that I'm saying, is that he kills Madison and Kaylee, and then he comes downstairs, confronts Ethan, and then Xana, then realizes he's missing the sheath, goes upstairs. Holy crap, where's my sheath? Comes back downstairs, hears Xana, one of his victims, who might recognize him somehow, say, he was whimpering and whining, and then he kills her, basically a second time to himself, because he thought he killed her the first time. And then he goes by Dylan at that moment and goes outside. But again, the blood transfer in the house will determine the sequencing. Law enforcement probably has a really good idea of the sequencing. If Xana and Ethan are first, there's likely no blood from Kaylee and Madison anywhere near them. If they are second, there's almost surely a drop of blood here or there from from Kaylee or Madison in Xana's room, right? You guys agree with that? Or in the hall right there, or wherever you went? I don't know if he sees Dylan or not. No idea. All right. Did Kohberger go to Moscow, Idaho at 9 a.m.? So when 9 a.m. in the morning, do you think he went to Moscow, Idaho at 9 a.m.? Law enforcement seems to think that, but there's also that one false ping on the 14th. But in this case, they believe he went there. And if he did, what was the reason he went there? Please don't say that he went there to find the sheath, as we originally were saying a long time ago. No, you don't need one of those people on, Zozo, because it's just really obvious. If the case was presented, then they'd be interesting to have on. I thought Ethan was cut badly around his leg area. Yeah, we don't really know the truth of any of that stuff. It's not been put out there by the law enforcement. I thought the shoe print matched Vans. Yeah, the diamond shape. Yeah. I will wonder if he went back for Dylan and Bethany. I mean, the thing is I'm not a blood spatter expert, but I've read a whole bunch on it and stuff. Like, I actually have this book over here on it, and it's really sort of kind of self-explanatory, right? When you see drops on the ground that are just straight down, those are the passive blood drops where there's not motion of the object it came from. It just comes down on the ground. If it's cast off, you'll see it. The angles are different. Like it'll hit a wall and have sort of an elongated shape to it. Like, so if you have a knife and you're stabbing with it, you're flinging blood around, and it lands on different things. Arterial blood spray looks different too. When it comes out, it goes and it just kind of sprays the wall, and then it starts dripping down. And then you also have like aspirated, where you cough it up, like that. It makes these fine, sort of almost mist-like presentation on the wall. Okay, anyways. Did Kohberger go to Moscow, Idaho at 9 a.m. for whatever reason? Okay, we have to do that. So these are new ones right here. What was the purpose of Bryan Kohberger's trip to Clarkston, Washington? What was he doing down there? Anybody know? So at around 11, I think he got there, what was it, 12:30 or so? But he wasn't running away. He came back. He changed his mind? Just driving around for what reason? You guys are crazy. Right. That's what I think. And I actually think what he purchased at the Albertsons is meaningful. They're just not telling us what he purchased. That's hilarious, Patty. That's freaking hilarious. Yeah. I just try to think a little bit. I don't think he bought tons of bleach. Might be interesting if he bought. Well, there's no Albertsons doesn't have shovels and things like that. But what was he buying at Albertsons? I forgot he went to the grocery store. What did her buy? Huh? Oh, I don't know what he bought there. No idea. Yeah, maybe he did buy Band-Aids or something like that. Bandages. Good rock cleaning supplies prior to the crime. It seems like it's related somehow. Oh, I see. You're saying why he went to Albertsons to buy lunch. Okay, yeah. Maybe. I asked why did he go down to Clarkston. There's got to be another reason that he did that whole trip. on the same day he murdered people. And by the way, the reason that that trip is so important, again, see, these are I'm pointing out these really crucial things here on this. See, this ping here links up Kohberger's phone to the white Elantra, so that makes it very likely that Kohberger is driving the white Elantra, because the white Elantra is moving around. It just left there and it's going this direction, and it's completely lined up with it leaving the area up here. Then later in the day, when he goes to Clarkston, Washington, he goes over here to Cup of Joe at 12:36, and his cell phone utilizes the resources of the Cup of Joe restaurant there. It contacted whatever the same, likely maybe the Wi-Fi even. Who the hell knows? Then this camera right here, off of, let's see, this is U.S. Foods Chef Store, at the exact same moment, filmed the white Elantra, the same one that they'd been following with no front license plate. It's right here. Okay, so this camera and Kate's Cup of Joe, phone, video of the car, exactly the same as we had up here. We have the white Elantra, the white Elantra, and then at 4:48, his phone ping. You're linking up the Elantra and the phone because it kept going around like this, and then the Elantra shows up again at 5:25 right up there. Okay, so then at that moment, we've got the phone and the car right there. But we still don't have Bryan Kohberger himself, his physical features. Then at 12:46, voila! He parks his car right here, and Bryan Kohberger himself gets out of the very same white Elantra, missing the front license plate. I guarantee it. Missing the front license plate. He gets out of it, and he goes into the store, therefore linking up the cell phone, Bryan Kohberger himself, and the white Elantra. All right? So how do other people explain these, these circumstances here in a rational way that makes it not Bryan Kohberger? Anybody out there? You can't. That's the thing. All right. Do police have more CAS data during... Okay, so why was Kohberger's phone... So after he went there, the next thing that's mentioned on the probable cause is that at near Johnson, Washington here, likely off of this tower right here, I think... Yeah, so that tower, probably that angle even. So right here be 120 degrees. And was driving by Johnson, Washington here, it pinged, and those ping times were, we call it ping, but it contacted the tower at 5:32 and 5:36 p.m. So what was he doing for 5 hours prior to turning on that phone? Was he driving around in the middle of nowhere over here? I mean, it's crazy. I mean, what was he doing out here? There's all these side roads out here. For example, this is what it looks like out here. Look at this. It's just middle of nowhere. You're just driving around. You got these side roads moving around. It's pretty cool looking, but I think he's maybe even, I don't think he's getting rid of evidence at that. Well, he could be I think he's moving the evidence from where he originally got it, or where he put it. So he put the evidence somewhere after he left the house, and was he going back out there to move it around? Because you're missing 5 hours of time. But that's just because that's all they're telling us. Do you think, that's my question, that police have more CAS data during this time frame, those 5 hours of missing time? Because they just say at that time his phone pinged here. They didn't say his phone doesn't ping anywhere else. Okay, they just say his phone pinged near Johnson, Washington at between 5:32 and 5:36. So they're saying he's in this area generally where he was on the way back from earlier in the morning. But see, that is interesting, right? That he's down here and then earlier he was over here. And then after the 5:32 and 5:36, they said his phone then quits reporting to the network or something at like 8. So what was he doing in between that time? Is there more cast information in there? Yeah, so I bet there might be more information out there. Okay, now I got one question I'm going to put on the parchment here. Just a second. Well, no, I'll do a poll question. Never mind. This is the biggest question of the day right here. Have you hit the like button yet, for God's sakes? Okay. I doubt it. I did, Gray. I swear to God I hit that button. A lot. Look at all the no's in there. Those are the trolls. We can get the absolute troll count on this one. That means that 13% of the people watching are trolls. That's great. That was somebody else's idea to do that one. That was pretty good. I like that one. Yeah. That's right. So as soon as I come into your live, I hit the button. Well, thank you. All right, so 15% are trolls. Grant don't like Gray. He says Kohberger's guilty. And like I said last night, everybody, listen to this. Listen to this. I don't know if you know. Hold on. Listen. Law enforcement arrested Bryan Kohberger for the murders of all 4 of those individuals. I know. Wait. I know I'm out on the limb here. I wonder what his father thinks of his golden boy now. Who knows? All right. So again, like we're in the middle of the show. If you guys like to help support the channel, that'd be absolutely awesome. We've got the if you want to help on PayPal, that works too. It just makes a huge difference for the channel and what we do. And the thing is we're one of the few channels that makes a difference here. Yeah, hear me out, right? Yeah, isn't it weird? Like, law enforcement arrested him for the murders, and somehow we're lunatics if you think they got it right. And when you go over the probable cause document, it just, every single time it affirms it. It even makes it more solid for me every time, because I think each time I explain it in a better way, to be honest with you. Yeah. Okay. So then we got, do you think it's reasonable to believe that there are multiple Elantras? I like that one. Yeah. Do you think it's reasonable to believe that there are... Hey, thanks, Iris Rainbow, and welcome to Kayla Marie. And we'll do the same thing tonight. If we get to 400 tonight, we'll donate another 25... Or not 25. We'll donate another 5 memberships. 25. Jesus, that would be... Have you thought about why he hasn't drove anywhere since the 9 in the... I'm thinking... Huh? Since the... Why he went back there? Yeah, because he knew he didn't want to be spotted over there. I mean, he went there 12 times throughout the, like a 3-month period, and then he doesn't go there again for an entire month after the murders. See, there's so many things that Kohberger's done that are indications that he, that he did it. consciousness of guilt. You know, shaving off his eyebrows. He doesn't drive his car back there. He changes his license plate. You know, he claims that. So that's one of the questions I have coming up. Have you hit the? Okay, I did that. Do you think it's reasonable to believe that there are multiple Elantras driving around between 325 and 420 in the same area? So that's my question, everybody. Do you think it's reasonable to believe that here's where an Elantra is, Kohberger's Elantra, because his phone is in there. He's just driving around, he says. Do you think it's reasonable to believe that at 330 to 425 or so, that there's multiple white Elantras driving around in the area? And I think the answer should be no to everybody. Okay, it's just, it's not reasonable. Well, it's possible though, right? Yep, you're right. Just like there's possibility that aliens from Zeta Minor are actually the ones that caused this. Alright. Do you think it's reasonable to believe that... Okay, we just did that one. And the next one was, yeah, in the same area, right. Next one is, how likely is it that Kohberger's white Elantra is the one seen at 1122 King Road, given his phone ping just 28 minutes later south of Moscow? So how about that one? I guess you can't say, like, how likely. But look at that. How likely is it that Kohberger's white Elantra is the same one at 1122 King Road, given his phone pinged just 28 minutes after the murders south of Moscow? I mean, Jesus, just listen to that question right there. Now, see, it's all about the way you say it to make people go, oh, shit. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Michelle. Who are you? Okay, I give up. It's like I'm on a mean... I don't know. Who are you? Did you even make a comment prior? These people are crazy people. Oh, my God. Listen to this one. Okay, I give up, Gray. I feel like I've been eavesdropping on a mean girl clique. Have a great rest of your night. Boo-hoo-hoo. God. Don't you love people like that? Like I always say, have you know those people on Facebook, by the way? Like, they're not having a good time. They're arguing with people. So they make a post that say, I'm leaving, everybody. I didn't like it here. You guys were so mean to me. Goodbye. Because we were all wanted to hear your goodbye letter. How about this? Just leave next time. There's no, just literally leave and don't come back. That's how simple it is. Nobody cared what your reasoning was. And by the way, I don't know what you're talking about. Everybody's just been firing away talking about the case. Strange. Strange. Right. But it's not even that either, Ali 79. So it also reminds me when people say, all right, everybody, I gotta go to the store really quick. I'll be back in a few minutes. And I'm thinking, who cares? See, when people say that, it makes you think that they believe that people are sitting around waiting for their next, with bated breath, at their next reply. Hey, thanks, Sally. I won't be able to watch much now that my summer break is over, but I appreciate your excellent graphic, rational breakdown of current cases and troll busting. Well, thank you.
I won't be able to watch much now that my summer break is over, but I appreciate your excellent graphics, rational breakdown of current cases, and troll busting.
Are you a teacher, Sally, or what's going on? Thanks, Cheryl and Pirate Girl.
Dog.
I know people say that sometimes. Like, if let's say, I have a day show that I do with just trials, and there's maybe, I don't know, sometimes there's 100 people watching, and they're all having a conversation and hanging out and talking about their lives and everything. So that makes sense when you go, hey, everybody, I got to take off for a few minutes. But it's when you're doing these really long these streams with all these people. Are you okay, Cindy? You're just laughing and laughing and laughing.
Waving hand.
I'll be back in 10 minutes. I have to put... Yeah, hold on a second. I gotta go use the toilet really quick. Gotta drop a... I won't say it. I won't say it. Ah! Oh, man. Yeah, so if we get up to... If we get another 100 up to 400, I'll donate another 5 memberships. And it'll be great. Did the DoorDash deliver through the sliding door? Anyone know? I doubt it. That doesn't make any sense, right? Because they wouldn't know that, oh yeah, drive up behind the house and climb down a bank and then... Or go around the side of the house. That seems kind of odd. I'm pretty sure it was the front. Well, we don't know 100%, but I think just logically it'd be the front door. Hey, thanks for letting us know, Lost in Space. I'm not even going to continue with the show until you get back. All right? Da, 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 da. That's what I was going to say, little darling, but I didn't say it. I didn't do it. Yeah. Make sure to let us know when you come back so we can start that show up again. This all makes sense, but do you think it will... Oh, yeah. Well, I think it'll convict him if there's rational-minded people on the jury. But as we see, based on other social media outlets and channels, that there are a lot of really naive people out there. You know, just people that their brains aren't working correctly. You know, and I think that's sort of a common thing these days. Let's see. Dateline discussed how Kohberger's sister suspected him. Do you find that credible? So when Dateline mentioned that Kohberger's sister was like, oh man, I was suspecting of or something, and then he saw him wear gloves and throw out trash. Do you think the DoorDash guy saw BK? I think it's very possible. We already said that earlier, Zoe 413, that if they drove by each other, of course they would have seen each other. Yeah. So, anyways, I think he will be blown away with the evidence. The state, yeah, and the state's going to have way more information too. Thanks, Cindy. Welcome, oh yeah, what was it? Aya Walker. What do you guys think about that last part? I think his sister actually thought that. What do you make of Kohberger wearing gloves to throw out trash if he's innocent? So if Kohberger's innocent, what made him think about throwing away trash with gloves on and throw trash in neighbors' garbage cans if he didn't have anything to do with it? Anybody have an answer for that one? Why did Kohberger throw his own trash away in his neighbor's garbage can if he had nothing to do with it? Right. Let's see, American. I actually called the Jack in the Box myself, and the Jack in the Box closes from 4 to 5, so it was definitely open for the DoorDash driver to have picked something up. no reasonable answer. Right. There's no... Yeah, but is that irrational? Is that something believable, Jim? Is that something that you would consider to be reasonable to believe he was a germaphobe and threw stuff away? Why did the sister think it was weird if he was a germaphobe? Wouldn't he have been doing that his whole life? Oh, well, I just became a germaphobe. Don't you realize? That's why I started... You know, around the same time I became a vegan, I started to become a germaphobe. So I started throwing my own trash in somebody else's garbage can. But why are you a germaphobe of your own garbage? Why would you go over to some weird neighbor's house and throw garbage into there, exposing yourself to some foreign germs, not the ones from yourself? Yeah, that's a good point, Grant. That's a good point, but... Why did Kohberger have his eyebrows cut after the murders? So after the murders, why did he, cut his eyebrows? Can anybody come up with a... See, this is what I'm saying. When you start adding these things together, right? He cuts his eyebrows after the murders. He uses gloves to throw trash into other people's garbage cans. He changes his license plate right after the murders. Thanks, Susan Smith. Is his alibi really that he was driving around? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. That's why, as soon as he said that, I go, you're toast. No, Gray, it just admits he drove around that night. Right. Do you think Kohberger timed the murders with the need to get new plates and register in Washington? I totally do. I think he knew that he needed to get his license plates changed soon, so thought, wow, what a great time to do this. It won't look weird. What do you guys think? It's also around the time of his birthday. No, I came up with them myself, Zozo. They didn't ask him anywhere. They're just ones I came up with. They're ones that I think about, and so if you're wondering how my brain works, is I just come up with these questions, and that's because these are the things that I'm looking at going, wow, try to explain that rationally to somebody. All right? And by the way, when you say where are they, what were you going to do? Go over there and look? I mean, wouldn't it have been better for him to have both his plates when he committed a murder? I don't know. He thought probably being at UW over there, Washington State, it wouldn't matter that much. UW's the big one in Seattle. Before and after eyebrow pics would be awesome. I could probably go find those because I think his mugshot has bushy eyebrows. That's what I used actually in this picture right here. Yeah, it could have been a community post, but here, let's show this one. See, this is one of the ones I used where he's wearing his orange jumpsuit here, but this is looking through Dylan Mortensen's room. That's the door open, but I think the door would just be cracked open, not the way I have it. So here's one of those face masks. That's kind of what he would have looked like. Pretty creepy, right? And I think he might even have them cut here, because that's not what they look like originally. Yeah, so I'm not sure if these are which ones are like that. This looks like a standard mug shot right there. So that's a good one. So you can kind of see him right there. That's... How about that one? There you go. That's before he... that's just totally shows it right there. See that? So that's probably his ID card or something like that. The internship ID card. And see how they're absolutely bushy those eyebrows are? And then what's this one look like? Well, see, what you got to do is time up when he plucked his eyebrows to the probable cause document when he realized that was a thing. I haven't seen some of these. This guy is just what a pile of crap. Thanks, A. The circumstances of his arrest, as told by the Pennsylvania DA, are spectacular. Sitting in his parents' kitchen at 1 a.m., wearing surgical gloves, separating his trash into baggies. Are you serious? Where can I see that? Can you send me a link on that? I want to open that. I want to read that one. Yeah, send me that thing. Wouldn't shock me a bit, though.
The circumstances of his arrest, as told by the
They probably did it right when he...
spectacular.
That's
Sitting
crazy.
in his parents' kitchen at 1 a.m., wearing surgical gloves, separating his trash into baggies. Incredible.
Man, that's even way worse than... That's crazy. So what was his dad saying about it? Can you get an interview with the eyebrow trimmer? No. Is there one? Maybe he just did it himself. I don't think I knew that. Yeah, I don't remember hearing that part. Who cares? That's such a... It's interesting, but it's not a big element to me. I thought he was busted at like 4 a.m. You didn't know that, Renee? Man, Renee told me earlier she didn't know about it, but then now she's pretending that she knew about it. Hey, Grey Hughes, what are your thoughts about him removing his shower curtain from his step-toe apartment? And do you believe he planned to return... Oh, well, maybe... Yeah, wouldn't it be interesting if the shower curtain was used that he placed over the seats? And really, he could have set it up in his car where the only thing that he had to care about was any possibility of something getting on the steering wheel. He could have put plastic all over the seats, all over the floor and everything like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we don't... I like to talk about things that are absolutely known, but... So send me the link to that. I want to read that article. I don't think I've heard the part about the DA talking about when they made the arrest. Haven't seen it. Mm-hmm. Did he go to a hairstylist for an eyebrow trim, or he called for an appointment? Let's start sleuthing it out. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Evidence once the suspect was described as having bushy eyebrows. He conveniently starts... Yeah, see, those are the things. What are... That might be a good question. What are the things that you think are the consciousness of guilt moments? Shaving his eyebrow. Timing the murders with changing his license plates. There's like... I think there's a ton of them. He may change brows not. Huh? Yeah, I don't know about the 9 a.m. That's not one of the ones. No, that's not. I don't know. Driving back to Pennsylvania that doesn't show that. It just could be him visiting. It doesn't mean that. I'm looking for those things that are not really. They don't make a lot of sense. Nope, the DNA doesn't show. That's not what I'm saying. What are the things that he did that show consciousness of guilt? No, that's not what that is. Saying he's getting Thai food isn't what that is. Turning that phone off and random. No. No, we don't know anything about the car. It's things like plucking his eyebrows. That means he knows something. The trash. That's one of them. Sorting the trash. Yeah, I think the alibi is almost in that category. There was 3 or 4 of them that we've gone over. Let me go through my questions. I can look at them again. What do you yeah, wearing the gloves, throwing out trash. The license plate being changed. And his eyebrows. So those are huge ones right there. Changing the license plate right after the murders. Shaving his eyebrows. Using gloves to throw out his trash. Those are massive consciousness of guilt moments. Maybe if there was just one, you could explain it. But there's 3 of them, and all 3 are odd things. Most guys aren't plucking and shaving their eyebrows. Okay? Here, hold on, I'm getting... What am I looking at here? Oh, looks like somebody has a broken... One of my friends broke their finger or something like that. Is the name of a U.S. cavalry madman that colonized eastern... Yeah, why do you keep bringing up that steptoe thing? Let's see. Not being on surveillance after the murders numerous times like before. Oh, how about this one? Turning off of his cell phone. Okay. So his cell phone is on right here at 2:40. Okay, so right here at 2:44, he drives up this direction. 2:42, his phone is pinging down in the area down here. Then 2:44, his car goes like this, and he probably pulls over right here to get everything ready for his final journey. And then he turns off his cell phone at 2:47. And it doesn't come on again until right here after the vehicle leaves town. So, how do we know, Gray? Maybe he just drove around like this and then was hanging out and coming... You know, he didn't want to get calls. It was a beautiful drive that night. There is no rational explanation for Kohberger's phone turning on right here and then also claiming it's not the same Elantra that's making these loops right here because they know that the vehicle came out right there and therefore would have gone on the 195 this direction, and there it is right there. And guess what? Kohberger's phone pinged inside of it. Yeah, we already did that one. That was one of the questions. It was how many other white Elantras. It says, do you think it's possible to do you think it's reasonable to believe that there are multiple Elantras driving around between 325 and 420 in the same area? That's the question I asked earlier. The answer is no, it's not reasonable to believe that. Except his attorneys would want you to think that. They're gonna make it look like it was a virtual parade of Elantras, you know, flag waving and all, going down the street. Yay! Na 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 na. You know, they're just really excited driving around their Elantras at 3:30 in the morning. Yeah. Elantra parade. Okay. Do you think Kohberger's time? Okay. Do you think Bryan Kohberger committed the murders beyond a reasonable doubt given what we know now? I do. I mean, I 100% believe that Bryan Kohberger committed these murders based on what we know just right now. I can't really, you know, it's hard to rationally come up with reasons to explain. And he knows that too. Wow, they've got me on camera. Look at that shit. They've got me on camera. Okay, I was driving. Okay, yeah. I mean, I was driving around. Yep. Yep. You know, the best part of that whole thing is Kohberger's driving around, and he must be thinking of the Indianapolis 500, right? Because he drives into here and he goes, "Wow, this looks cool," and he goes, "Whee!" and he does 4 full loops around in here. Well, you can't post it in chat, because I don't allow links. YouTube doesn't even allow links.
I'm posting the link also in chat if it won't let me link it here.
Well, no, I don't want people posting links in the chat. Anyways, because people click on it and then they leave. So, anyways, the way you do it is you just send me an email. Plus, YouTube doesn't allow you to put links. Oh, yeah, that's a great question. If it was him, why didn't he say he was in the area during that time when they were asking about the white Elantra? Well, consciousness of guilt again, right? I guess you could say that. Now he's saying, yeah, I was around. So he's doing all these laps. Boom, 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 boom. He does it. He does it on the 4th one. He comes down here, turns around, goes this way to the 3-point turn, and he hauls ass. If you guys remember on the video, he does this one in 27 seconds, but all the rest took 38. 35 to 38 seconds. So he's like, boom, comes around here and he parks. Kohberger says, hanging out. So what now? Kohberger, what he's going to have to admit to is that he was stalking the house. So he did park here at 4:08, and we know that the Elantra sat there for 12 minutes without moving because at 4:20 it pulls away, and there's no other way out of there without this camera picking it up. Well, I guess it's possible from here he could have went back behind. No, he would have driven right in front of this camera right here. So there's no way. That means the white Elantra sat there for 12 minutes and then drove away at a high rate of speed. So what we're going to have to believe is during the 12 minutes he was stalking the house, somebody else went in and killed them all, and then he got weirded out by it and he drove away at a high rate of speed. That's awesome. I'm not sure what you mean. Search what in Google? You just have to send me an email. It's really simple. It's Okay. No, I've already heard about the part where he separated trash using latex gloves. I've heard about that part. What you guys are saying is when the DA, when they arrested him, he was in the midst of doing it again, right? Oh, there you go. That's what this one is. So thanks, Allie Cake. Let's take a look at this one. And the Idaho, see, look at those are totally different eyebrows than the ones that we had where they go down further. Hold on, let me look at something here. All right, you guys, if we can get up to that 400, we're going to give away 5 more memberships, and it also really helps out the channel. Like I said before, at the end of the month, I donate from the income that you guys give me, because you guys are the sole source of the income. I donate, like last month, we gave $6,000 away to various true crime-related charities, and if you'd like to be part of that, you can either become a channel member or, what really brings in most of the income on the channel is super chats, because it's convenient and people use it. All right, let's see. Let me zoom in on this really quick. Yeah, it seems like down in this area he totally trimmed these up. It doesn't look like that at all in that one. You remember that one we were looking at? Let's look at that. Hold on. Well, if you get one, you get one. It's all pure luck, eh? When we give them away. So that looks trimmed to me. Yeah. And I'll show you why I think that. Hold on a second. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. There, Trim Gray, he's innocent. That's your standard? I mean, you can't see that that's a big difference. I know it's not very clear, but look at this crap over here. That looks like a bird's nest on the outside. Thanks. American Lady gave away a membership, and Just Junie, and a bird's nest. So look at that one, and then look at that one. You don't see a big difference there on the outside right there? Come on. Let's be serious here. That's massively different. Thanks, Music City Mom 2. If you had to quit YouTube true crime, what kind of work would you want to do? Yeah, I tell you what, I'd love to go in and make what do you call it? Like displays, whatever they call them at trials, where you make a representation.
If you had to quit YouTube true crime, what kind of work would you want to do?
Because here's what I'm going to tell you. Like, even when we watch the Murdoch trial, I could have made that ping stuff 1,000 times more interesting and easier to understand when they were going over that. So I think that's what I would be good at. I would love to be doing that, working with the investigators, getting all of the real information and putting it into a cohesive presentation, if not even just to show the prosecutor to say, oh yeah, we got this guy, or whatever, right?
Chewbacca?
I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to. Hey, thank you very much, Lisa L. Music City Mom 2. Just Junie. And American Lady. So can you guys see the difference there? Like, I know it's not as clear as the other one, but see how that just sticks way out over there? Then you look at that one, it's not really doing that, right? It's thinner. Definitely trimmed down a little bit like that. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah, so let's get through. Authorities in Pennsylvania say that when police arrested Idaho University suspect, this is from March, I guess I missed this particular article, Bryan Kohberger in his parents' home, or maybe I did read it, but it's been so long now that it just doesn't register or something. He was wearing latex gloves. I remember hearing about the latex glove, and separating his personal trash from the family kitchen's garbage, placing his own refuse into...
Right now, the Idaho College murders. The criminology graduate student...
That's absolutely crazy, right? Like, as they're arresting him. But his sister said she had seen him, so we already knew that part, I guess. Kohberger, well, we didn't know that until the special came out, so I'm not sure what came out first. Probably around the time of this article. Kohberger faces first-degree murder charges in November 2022, death of 4 students, Ethan Chapin, 20, Xander Coronado, 20, Kaylee Gonzalez, 21, and Madison Mogan, 21. Each of the 4 was stabbed to death at an off-campus house located on King Road in the early morning hours of November 13th. While Magistrate Judge Megan Marshall of Latah County, Idaho, issued a sweeping gag order preventing investigators, witnesses, and attorneys for both sides from publicly discussing any aspects of the... Yeah, so that's crazy, right? They come in through the door, and he's got the damn latex gloves on, separating his trash. Man. All right. So what do you think of the police response and the various press conferences that they had? Obviously, they were more onto stuff earlier than they were portraying. They already knew that there was a launcher. They did bring that up to the public. Shortly after that, they identified Bryan Kohberger, and then I think they had his name in a database from the case, and then genetic genealogy led back to him. Hey, thanks, Tennessee Shine. Appreciate that. All right, so how about this? Where are we at right now? How about we're going to do phone calls now? You can tell me what you think. Try to come up with the questions that you just don't understand. We've already gone over their blood in the car things and things he could have done, so don't need to bring that one up. What did I don't even remember what I called it. Was it this one? Ding ding ding. I guess that's another one that works. So there you go. Try that one. I think that one works. Is that one of my settings? Yeah, that's one. So hey, let's do phone calls now. Hey, thanks, Ali79. I'm never ever going to forget the bird's nest eyebrow. It's a classic. That was pretty funny. Made myself laugh. I gotta be honest. There's times where I watch my show.
I'm never ever going to forget the bird's
Later.
eyebrow comment. It's a classic.
Oh, look at that. Hello. Who's this? You got to turn on your audio. Wow. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. They just hung up. Yeah, so that was a quick call there, too. And look at that. We're only 28 away from the 5 memberships. Hopefully A gets one. Who said anything about God being a god, Dorley Herrera? What does that mean? You're not God? I don't get it. Hello? Who's this? Yeah, who's this? This is Lori?
This is Lori.
Hey, Lori, what's going on?
Hi, I just have a question. Nobody ever brings up the DoorDash driver, and he had to go through the front door if he delivered because there's no staircase in the back. To the balcony.
So what was the white Elantra doing? Are you saying is the DoorDash driver?
No, I'm just asking how come no one ever brings up the DoorDash driver in his entrance?
Well, I guess I would say why bring him up? Because he's
because
not the murderer. He's not the murderer. It's the person in the white Elantra.
Well, I just question because Bethany's bedroom is right next door to the main entrance, so she never heard anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, it's not right next door. Like, there's a door that goes in the front, and then you go inside, and you have to take a left and go down a hallway, and then her door's down there. But yeah, her window's outside the front, but it's down on the left-hand side. Or the other room on the right was not used by anybody. That's the one right by the door.
Right, but the news always implies that the DoorDash driver came in through the sliding glass door, but there's no steps that go up to the.
What do you mean?
Glass
What do you
door.
mean? They've never they've always implied that the DoorDash came through the sliding glass door.
That's what I've heard. Yes, and I watched
man.
it from day one.
That's crazy. I've never heard that. I always thought they said they just
So I just
drove to the front there.
no. I've always felt like he has, and I thought they'd implied it. So, and then another thing is, why wouldn't Bryan Kohberger's parents ever speak about their child being innocent?
Well, because their kid's going to be on, I don't know. I actually think that, they don't need to say anything, Bryan Kohberger's parents, but...
No, but if my child was ever accused of something like this and I truly felt that he was innocent, I'd be screaming it to the top,
Right, but what if you didn't? You don't have to say anything. But yeah, they do have, right,
No,
somebody just typed in there's a gag order, so they can't really talk about it.
I don't think they can stop a parent from talking about their child.
Well, if they have a gag order,
You can say that your son is innocent. I mean, throw me in jail if I.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's not
His
breaking
mother
the
could-
gag order by saying you think they're innocent. So I mean, that's sort of
Right.
maybe that implies that that they're they think he's guilty then, right?
Well, that's what I was kind of wondering. I mean, she wrote a letter supporting Ted Bundy, but not her own son.
Yeah, I remember the Ted Bundy one. That's sort of weird because that's exactly... by the way, don't call in the show, everybody, until this phone call's over, then call in. Like, I don't have call waiting. I don't have... You know, I don't really want it either. So, there's two people have tried to call since you've been on already.
Oh, okay. I'll let you go. I just thought I was going to give you a couple of points because they are insinuating about the stairs in the back. There's no stairs in the back.
I think Kohberger actually... Well, I've never heard anybody say that the DoorDash came around the back, as a matter of fact. They all say they go to the front. The front is, the front door that's on actually the first floor, and there's really no way to go around to the back. And then the part about Bundy is I made a video, a whole theory on how I think that Kohberger maybe trying to emulate Ted Bundy, and that's why he killed the, he went to an off-campus sorority house. He went from Pennsylvania to Washington State. Then he drove down to, so somebody obviously didn't hear what I just said because they just called in again. So anyways, yeah. So
I'll let you go.
He goes down to Washington State, and he goes to Washington State from Pennsylvania, and then he kills 4 students. And then he drives home by going through Utah, Colorado, all places, right? So, anyways, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you.
Hey, thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. Man, what's going on? I just said don't call in when I'm on the phone with somebody. Hello. Ah, Jesus. Hello. Yeah, who's this? What's going on? Randy
yeah,
out
I
of
was
Chicago.
calling. I'm getting a little bit of echo here.
Well, that's because you've got to turn off your audio from wherever else you were listening.
Yeah, I have it off and on the TV, but it was still coming through on the phone. Maybe let me give you a call back. Okay, great.
Okay, all right, call back. All right. Hello. Who's this? Hello. What the hell's going on here? Hello.
How are you?
Pretty good. Who's this?
This is Allison
What's going on?
from Texas. Well, I just have a few things to say. One is that the only people we've heard say that there's no DNA in his car is his defense. And that doesn't mean that there isn't evidence of blood, because he's cleaned his car so many times, and bleach will degrade DNA. So and I'm speculating, in my opinion, they will likely find blood evidence, but they will not find DNA. And I'm a scientific background, so I feel comfortable saying that. And the second place, the people who keep, the one girl that keeps talking about the DoorDash driver, DoorDash does not knock on your door and hand you there's an app. You can follow the car, and then they text a picture and send it to you of your food on your front porch. So.
Yeah, they show you a picture.
They show you a picture so you know it's there. It's a contactless delivery. And I'm just glad I found your channel. You're the only one I listen to now, because there's so much bunk information out there. We're on water restrictions here in Texas, and I hand watered my yard for 3 hours the other night listening to your live. So,
well, good, awesome. I'm responsible for plants being watered.
Wisdom.
Well, cool. Yeah, I've heard about the part where they just take pictures and the door never gets open. So that's why I almost think that's when Kohberger. I think things are not right at 4 and these exact times that they're saying. Like Bethany says she hears Kaylee playing with her dog at around 4. I think that was more like 4:10 or something.
Yeah, she's getting murdered. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's when the murders happened. And I think the DoorDash was probably right around like 4:05, and then Kohberger drives by, sees him, but he sees him already walking to his car. So then he turns around behind 500 Queen Road and then pulls out, and then he stops to look, and he sees the car pulling away. So then he goes down the road, turns around to the 3-point turn, and then does the normal route that he'd been doing so he can park back behind. Because I think what he would do is turn on off his headlights just as he goes around the last building. So if people are looking at the screen right here, it's like this. When you're going around like this, right in this area, this is where I think he probably turned off his headlights, and then he would just park here so he wouldn't alert anybody. So that's why he wants to go around like this, because this way he has to keep his lights on, and then it might wake people up, then he has to, you know what I'm saying?
And I do think that he had lined his car. I think he had a bucket or something to put all his clothes in. I think there was a hazmat suit. I think that between the second and third pass, when it took a little longer, he got everything. He was parked and ready and got everything out and placed it out there for him to, do the deed, and then maybe saw the DoorDash driver and drove around again, because there was that extended period of time in between two of the passes.
Yeah, but that wouldn't have been the right one. That was too early. I think it's going to be the one where at 4:05 he sees him, and that's why he does that. He changed up what he normally did and just turned around, and then drove down west on King Road. First he tried to turn around for a second, then he sees that the DoorDash driver isn't there, and then he does the 3-point turn at Queen and King, then he goes back around and finishes it. The other one's too early. I mean, he could have seen him at the 3:57 time, but I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. It could be either one of those. I mean, I do bring that up in my video. Does he see him at 3:58?
I'm gonna just fall apart if first. I don't think he'll be not guilty, but I just this is so blatant and so fact driven, and like I said, I appreciate your open mind and your wisdom and facts.
Well, thank you.
And I appreciate you.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you. All right, bye-bye.
Good night.
Hey, thanks for calling. Yeah, I mean, I'm just getting, just these phone calls coming in one after the other. Hello? 415? Hey, who's this?
It's Jory. How are you?
Hey, not too bad. I got to figure out my settings a little bit better on this app, though, the Skype. A lot of crazy, wackos calling in.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you.
So I don't really have a question, because why question? I'm just sure you did it, but I do want to just call out this thing that I found on Amazon one day. For all the people who are like, where's the DNA evidence in the car? All the people who are freaking that there's no DNA evidence in the house. So I went on Amazon one day to figure out how this could have happened, and for a whopping $39 and I think 95 cents, I found a dark gray hazmat suit that had booties, a hood, and a respirator and gloves. Yeah, for real. It was a disposable dark gray hazmat suit. How easy would that be, right?
Yeah, maybe that's what he was wearing when he went in there, maybe, you think?
I don't know. I wouldn't put anything past him. Nothing. I think he's planned this for a really long time. And I am always just dismayed that people think that it's some kind of weird, bizarre conspiracy that he would possibly think to get a hazmat suit off of Amazon. I found it in like 10 minutes. Anyway, listen, I don't want to take up any time from other callers, but that's what I think could happen.
Okay. Well, I mean, it definitely could happen. We're getting all these random calls coming in that you can keep. Can you hear
like
that
me?
Can you hear that? No, can you hear the beeping in the background? The bling.
Nope, I don't hear anything but you.
Oh, that's right. They can hear it though. The people in the chat. So those are all other people just calling and hanging up. So yeah, that's definitely a possibility. what you're saying, so you never
Yeah,
know.
I think he did something like Dexter. It's creepy.
Yeah.
He's creepy. He did it.
That's right. That's right.
He's very lucky I don't live in Idaho and I'm not a potential juror because I think he did it.
Yeah.
So anyway, listen, you have a great night.
You too.
Great night to all your subs. Okay, thanks.
Well, thanks
Bye.
for calling in. Bye-bye. Huh? I'm not sure how to do this. Hello? Hello? Who's this? Hello? Anonymous caller, who's this? It must be a troll. That's what it is. Alright, bye-bye. Yeah, it's just a troll calling in. They're going to keep calling, too. So we might have to go back to the Zoom technique. Alright, let's try it again. Hello? How come you're not saying anything? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I know you guys can't hear, but this is what I keep hearing right here. Hear that? Well, let's see. See how it works now. You guys can't hear it, but it just keeps calling and calling. An anonymous thing. It's the trolls disrupting. So maybe it works now. Alright. Awesome. I think I got it to work. So who wants to call in now? I think the phones are working. I don't know if I have the number on the screen anymore, but here, let's go back to this one. There you go. Alright, we're at 21 to go to get 5 memberships donated out there. Who's going to help make that happen? I thought tonight's show was another super chat worthy show. Wouldn't you agree? Tonight's a night where there's 0 PayPals or anything like that, so it's going to come down to all of you guys supporting me here on the show itself. If you ask who else was arrested, do you think he's still going to do that route? Who knows? Maybe. Who knows? Hold on a second. Hello? Who's this? Hello? Hello? Let's see. Can you guys hear that? Calling over and over and over again. 810. Who's this? Okay, forget it. I'm done. I'm not gonna do it anymore. Yeah, it's just an anonymous number, and then another one. That one wasn't, but so. I think I'm just gonna have to do the Skype. You know, if you want to call in, you can. You know, you want to be committed to call in, go ahead. That's just the only way to do it. It might take a little longer to call in, but you know, there's just too many idiots in the world. You know, it's unfortunate. Oh yeah, Jory, you found the mothership, huh? Well, somebody's got to throw me in prison so we can at least try to get to the 400 mark to give out the 5 channel memberships. So who's doing it? Say something. Come on, you can do it, Cindy. You're really good at it. Thanks, Renee H. Hey, look at that. Cheryl just threw me in prison. I've obviously been mean tonight. I've loved listening and watching the Pupper Cam, except Blue just left. Yeah, they're pretty sweet. Thanks, Renee H. And Daphne. Or Daph M, I mean. Not. Yep, Cheryl said I'm so mean. Yeah, maybe if I played the this one. No, I didn't read your comment. Why would I read your comment? From the green forests of the Pacific Northwest, I bid you all good evening, or good morning, as the case may be. Tonight, we have on Major Ed Danes. He's a remote viewer, and boy, he's seen some crazy things you wouldn't believe. I don't know what you're talking about, Cindy. Sorry, man. Send me an email. That's right, Art Bell. And then we're Then Richard C. Hoagland's coming on later to talk about why we haven't been back to the moon in over 50 years. Hey, thanks, Dulce Heredia Ramirez. Hi, his defense saying he was at time of murder. Well, they said he was driving around in his car looking at stuff. He likes to drive around late at night. So that's where he was. Hey, anytime you see a white Elantra, it's him driving around late at night. Except for the one at the murder scene, because that one doesn't sound right. But all the other times, you know. The one that was south of Moscow, yeah, that was me, but I wasn't in Moscow just prior to that. I actually drove backwards. I don't know what you're saying, Cindy. Just send me an email, man. I have no idea. I don't have time. Are you really Cindy, or are you a troll tonight? I really have no idea. What do you mean that woman did that? What does that mean, that woman did that? Okay, yep, I've been so mean. Now we're going to jail. Wow, look at that. Dulce Heredia Ramirez has lizard eyes. And of course, when you know I say it, it's good. Right? Right? What do you say? You guys, what do you say? By the way, put a 1 if you don't know what lizard eye stands for. Any of you guys? Right? Does anybody out there not know what lizard eye? Put a 1 if you've never heard of lizard eyes, okay? And if Zozo always types it in, even though she's heard it 17,000 times. Okay, here it is, everybody. Here it is. Here it is. See the lizard eye there? So I was in a bar one time, and there was this cute waitress, you know, the server, I guess you call them nowadays. And she came and after shift, she came and sat at my table with me. And she had these really like pretty eyes. They look like they're sort of hazel but dark. You know, I don't know how to explain it, like exotic looking. But the word exotic didn't pop into my mind, so I said to her, I said, "Your eyes look like a lizard." It's always funny when I tell it to myself even, because it's so ludicrously bad as a compliment, right? Like I literally said, "Your eyes look like a lizard." And she didn't last long at the table after that. But wouldn't it, you know, I mean, I guess that tells me she wasn't the right person, because you would think that somebody might have said, "What do you mean?" I go, "Well, they're really exotic." Yeah. So anyway, Cindy, I don't know what you were talking about up there. You said the lady said that. What lady said that? Who are you talking about? No, she didn't slap me, but why would you slap me? I just said your eyes look like a lizard. Made sense at the time, for God's sakes, you guys. Hey, thanks, Just Junie. They do look exotic. I think cat would have been better. You know, like I think cat would have been, you know, like lizards are exotic, snakes. A cat, though, would have had a little bit better connotation, maybe, meaning to it. But instead, I said you had lizard eyes, okay. Yeah, like a sexy lizard. Yeah, I never said I was smooth, okay. I mean, I think you guys can tell I'm not exactly the smoothest person in the world here. That's why I'm still languishing in prison. And none of you are getting me out of here. We got Just Junie and Simple Me. That's enough for a key for to slip to put in a cake or something. But that's it. Who the hell else is bailing me out of here? Yeah, I'm not doing a psychic hotline. I know, even though I wasn't me. Thank you, thank you. All right, we'll get out of here. Thank you. That's enough bail. I'll walk to the hotel and I'll sleep in their parking lot, of course. But does anyone else remember hearing that when the friends showed up the next day, the front door was wide open? I've heard that one. We've heard that. Doesn't mean it's true or anything. And maybe one of the other friends already went out the front door, you know? No, it's not. Saying you have lizard eye isn't saying you look like shit. Look like shit means look like shit. If you say your eyes look like lizard, there should have been a follow-up question. What do you mean? Oh, I just think they're exotic, I think. Oh, exotic. Oh, that's very sweet of you. If you said your eyes look like shit, there's no recovery. You get what I'm saying? See how there's a big difference there? You say, your eyes look like shit. There isn't a follow-up. What do you mean? Well, they're brown and... there's no recovery, okay? That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah. Had she just asked, there would have been a totally normal response. There is none for... I don't know. I don't think they're all ugly. The eyes aren't that ugly. Man, you guys are way too sensitive, man. You probably missed out on a lot of guys who had just said the wrong phrasing, you know? And they might have been the greatest guy in the history of the world. But you'll never know because they didn't say it how you want it. I don't think she was insulted. She was just too dumb to realize it was a compliment. Let's see. Your mouth looks like it could attack a goat. What the hell does that even mean? That's ridiculous. Attack a goat. Yeah. Just not when I talk about lizard eyes. Is that what it is, Texas Annie? But that's kind of an insult, Texas Annie. You said, Gray, you're sexy when you talk crime, but it means I'm not on anything else, and I'm feeling hurt. You look nice today, sweetheart. Well, what about yesterday? Forget it. I'm never complimenting you again. I think Dylan heard Xana say someone's here. Yeah, I think that's the right people for that, too. Xana heard what Dylan heard from upstairs. And yeah, I think that's what I was saying the other night. But if you're going with that first, that's what she heard. Hey, somebody's here. They're making some noise upstairs. Something, you know?
I heard what Dylan heard from upstairs, and BK might have even left the sliding door open after entering. He sees Jana and follows her to her room.
Well, I mean, that means he would have been coming down the stairs. So maybe when Xana says, hey, there's somebody here, she's looking up the stairs, and here comes Kohberger. But then it's like, well, how could Ethan have been killed next if, I don't know. We'll have to figure that one out. And then if she saw him first, he wouldn't have said, I'm here to help you, because she would have already seen him, and that wouldn't have made sense. Right? You guys are so... I'm going to throw... Wait, hold on a second. Where am I? Screw this. How do I put the chat in jail? Oh, I don't know if that works anymore. Shoot. Well, if I could, I'd throw y'all in there. Have to get that working again. So Cindy, send me an email. I have no idea what you were talking about earlier, so you'll have to explain it to me. I know, I'm out. I'm out, see? What do you mean you bailed me out already? No, I was going to put the chat in the jail, and you could bail yourself out, because you guys are just mean. You guys are so mean. A vigilante for what? Oh, you know, I realized tonight what the... Remember when Kohberger got pulled over in Indiana? And he brings up, hey, the FBI SWAT team just killed somebody. That's the genesis of all these crazy wackos that bring up the other BK person who was like an undercover informant, and they're pinning it on Bryan Kohberger. Oh, we might be able to watch that, because I think I just downloaded that today. Let me see. I think this is it. Thank you, Laconic. Is this the full one? Hold on. Yeah. No, that's the one from outside. That's kind of weird. Okay, I got the other one too. Where is it? I don't seem to be able to find it. Hold on. I know I have it. I think I recorded it though. Yeah, so gonna take a second because I got it sitting somewhere else. Hey, Blue. Blue. Blue, what's going on? He doesn't want to come. All right, here we go. That's what it sounds like. It doesn't kick in.
Hello. How you doing? How y'all doing today?
Fantastic.
Good, good. Take a look at your driver's license.
I'm doing
real quick,
fantastic.
okay?
I'm Bryan Kohberger. Hey.
See, he's right up on that van, man.
I sure was, sir.
He was right up on the back end of that van.
I sure was.
Pulled you over for tailgating. Is this your car? Okay. Cool. Where are you headed?
Yeah, we're just a little up the road there, sir.
Well, we're coming from WSU, and
Yeah.
What's WSU?
Oh, it's a school.
that is SWAT team and everything.
SWAT team.
So we're
See you right there?
I'm having a hard time hearing you because of the traffic. So you're coming from Washington State University, and you're going where? Oh.
We're going to be going to Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're slightly punchy because we're driving for hours.
Hours, days.
Hours to drive. Well, almost a day.
Okay.
Yeah, Dad. It was just a couple. It was just a couple minutes, Dad.
There was a mass shooting and everything.
Where? Interesting.
Well, it's horrifying because he's supposed to be universe, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you know, I think it's funny though that they're talking about this other event that isn't anywhere near as horrifying as the 4 students that were murdered. Like, this is just a SWAT team shooting one person. Okay, it's nowhere near this, but it's interesting that they're sort of bringing that up as a diversion. Like, don't think of you know what it feels like is going on here. It's almost like, although the dad brought it up, so I don't know if there's anything nefarious, but it's like we're coming from Washington State University, but I don't want you to think about the 4 girls that were killed. So I'm going to quickly throw out a story, the other story going around, to divert you from even thinking of that. Although at the same time, it could even jog the guy's memory to say, oh, well, wow, that's right near where those other 4 girls were killed. That would have been so crazy if they had mentioned that on this.
So y'all work at the university there?
I actually do work there.
Oh.
PhD in criminal.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I hadn't heard about that incident. Just yesterday, or?
No, this happened this morning. About an hour and a half ago. They're still wrapping it up for investigating. I'm not sure there's 2 shooters, but they did shoot somebody.
I see.
And then
Oh, that was pretty good. Oh, I get it. Cindy was just trying to be mean earlier so I could be put in jail. Hey, thanks, Cindy. It worked.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. So do me a favor, don't follow too close, okay? All right. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, she sent me an email explaining it to you. Gotta work great. Man. Yeah, there's an actual toilet flushing in the background that time. Well, any other questions and things you guys want to talk about for a minute or so? I think I'm going to get out of here in a minute. Well, I think it's really strange because we know what he did. See, that's a lot of things. Like, I think if you just played that completely unaware of who you're looking at, most of us wouldn't think it was weird at all. But now we know he's a killer, so our mind goes, wow, look how weird that is. He's talking. He's like... But look at it with... try to do it without... It's hard to do, but pretend that you don't know anything about these people. You're frozen? What do you mean? No, she's the last one, of course. Don't you guys agree, though? If you watch that, and you said that it was just a standard traffic stop to show how cops do it, I don't think you'd see anything. I guarantee it. I think you would just be, you know. But now that we know that he's a killer, we can think of what he's really doing and saying, right? What do you think of Kohberger's mother advocating against the death penalty years earlier? Yeah, I mean, she was using like Ted Bundy and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what her reasoning is. I'm sort of a, I'm for the death penalty if we make it really, really rare and it's only used with specific evidence produced. And the reason I've said that 100 times on here is because the Innocence Project is there for a reason. And they've exonerated dozens and dozens of people off of death row. Not like commuted their, they were exonerated, meaning they didn't even do it, and they were on death row. So that means prior to being DNA, or having DNA out there, we've executed dozens and I bet we've executed hundreds of innocent people in this country. Think how shitty that is. So until you get it to a point where, you're not executing innocent. If you execute one innocent person, it's too much. Don't you agree? I sure hope so. It's not like, well, the greater good is to execute all these. Well, then let's just do life without parole, and let's get back to the hard labor stuff that we used to do, where they're actually producing things. Not sitting around watching TV and lifting weights. Yeah, what do you think of that? I think if we went back to hard labor, there'd be a lot less people wanting to go to prison. Instead, they just sit around, just chilling out all day, reading books, watching television, eating food. Just. And I had an idea once where in the prison, you have competitions among the inmates where you do various things. So, for example, the prisons have to be self-sustaining. So you put them in parts of the country where there's kind of a consistent climate kind of deal, and you have a windmill for the power, and you teach people how to fix the windmills or whatever. Then you have a gardening section where you grow produce and whatnot. Then you have a place maybe where there's chickens and those kind of things, and you do that part. And then inside your cell, not in your cell, but in an exercise room near the cell block, people get to pedal bicycles to generate the electricity for batteries that they can use to listen to a radio or watch a television if they want to. But we're not pumping anything in there whatsoever. And then you move around. Like 1 month somebody's on you learn how to do all the windmills, and you're all part of that, the electrical shit. Then the next month you move over to the farming part. Then the next one over to the animals and milking cows and doing that kind of shit. And maybe just have a whole bunch of different things, like teach them how to do electrical, the wiring of the bikes, maintenance, how to fix the batteries, how to do this and that. And have it be something where it's sort of like this cool community, and you could say shit like, hey man, last month. And see, that would make it so we don't have to pay a nickel for them being in there. And the people that can get out of there will actually have a skill when they leave, being able to do something, for God's sakes. Now the lifers, they're just going to be in there, and they might be the ones that help train people on each of the different areas, but they're never leaving. Doesn't that make some sense? I mean, is it really great to have these prisons where people just sit around lifting weights and staring at a wall? And I don't know. It's weird to me. Or get back to hard labor, something. make prisons pay for themselves, basically. Where basically we're only paying for the salaries and there's no other costs associated with it. If you want to have power for your television sets, well, you better get to biking, because that's it. Yeah. All right, everybody. I think that's going to do it. Did you guys like the show tonight, other than the call-in portion where it was hard to even focus because you might have been able to hear the bleep, bleep. That was the same person calling over and over and over and over and over again, just trying to disrupt it. And so we won't be doing that one using Skype ever again. Maybe I'll do it on a members-only live at some point. Of course, we'll have to make it for people that are in Oogla Boogla Freaks or higher. Because if a troll wants to pay $5 a month to do that, well, shit, you go right ahead. All right? Thank you. All right, so what did you guys think of the question and answering a couple shows there? I thought it was kind of a neat conversation, right? I mean, hopefully most people that were watching feel like the case is in a pretty good place already just with the probable cause document information. I mean, it's pretty freaking amazing, right? I mean, he is, I think it's mind-boggling, right? Well, cool. Because, I mean, I'm probably going to make the video, and then tomorrow we're just going to be doing normal shows again. I hope we can still get support on here, but it seems like sometimes when we cover something else, we'll get back to the 350 to 400 people. You have to almost always keep covering the really, really big cases on a daily basis to keep the numbers up. All right, everybody, hit those the like button too. That'd be great. Thank you to Ken. Oh wait, hold on. Before I leave, I got to give away the. Almost forgot. The free memberships. Jesus. The free. So people left already, but here we go. Maybe we can get one to A. Let's see if A gets one. Will A get a membership? That's the question. Come on. Will A get one? Here we go. Ding, 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 ding. 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Basaglius, Natalie Bell, who's already gotten many, many free memberships. Idaho MDV, Midwest Girl, and who's the last one? Who's the last? Oh, it's Crystal Rose. And A didn't get one again. God, I'm sorry, A. But tell you what, they're only $1.99. And I think tonight you gave $25. That would have paid for a full year, for God's sake. Come on, somebody else buy some. Try to get A1. That's okay. Look at, oh man. Who doesn't feel bad for A the way he said, that's okay. He probably was looking down at the ground saying, ah, shucks. And then his brother said, gee willikers, eh? You're really keen. How come you didn't get one? Yeah, right. Well, this is where Eugenie always kicks in. She buys memberships. Not so much everybody else. All right, so Kenneth Colton, American Lady, Caligal 3 with a cat eye early. Tito, then L&O, cat eye. Then it just froze for like 30 minutes then. Ria Mazaron, Pamela Dasgupta, Christy Kazi. Yeah, so it went like this. I actually have the time, so L&O was at 6:07. Then at 6:23 was Ria Mazaron. Then Pamela Dasgupta at 6:24. Then Christy Kazi at 6:26. Then 10 minutes later was Jessica Schubach Hey, we're doing the timeline of Troll Be Gone. Then 8 minutes after that was Good Juju. Then 5 minutes later was Kit Kat. Then the same minute was Lisa Valenzuela. The same minute was Allison Cosgrove. Then 1 minute later was Zoe 413. Then 3 minutes later, American Lady. Then 1 minute later, Simply Me. Then 7 minutes later was Miller Aaron with a cat eye. Then 5 minutes after that, Your Gypsy. 4 minutes after that, Texas Annie. Then 2 minutes after that, Miller Aaron. Then 4 minutes later, Kathy Chapin. Then 3 minutes later, Miller Aaron. Then 17 minutes later, Allison Cosgrove became a member. Then Kayla Marie, membership. And then I'll just quit reading the time thing. Iris Rainbow, Sally, Cheryl, Pirate Girl, Cindy J, Aya Walker, new member, Susan Smith, Allison Cosgrove, A, and then A again. That's $25 there, which is 2 years worth of, or a year worth of the membership. Cindy J, American Lady, gifted a membership. Just Junie, Allie Kate, Music City Mom 2, Lisa L, Michelle H, Allie 79, Brittany gifted a membership. Daff M, Renee H, Daff M, Dulce Heredia Ramirez, Just Junie, Simple. Who got that one? Oh, Teresa got it. Oh, well, congratulations to you. But people were trying to get Amber Maiden, Simple Me, Cameron, Laconic, and then I gifted 5 memberships. And then Cameron is a new member. Natalie Bell. So everybody that just got one's one. And My Little Cutie gifted a membership. Well, sorry you didn't get one. So, all right, you guys. Thank you all very much for being here tonight. Get your last look at Blue and Chloe over there. Come here, Chloe. Chloe. Wow, look how they hustle over to me when I call them. Once they start resting, man, they don't even move. You have to dangle some food in front of them. Forget it. Yeah, they get pretty lazy at night. They almost pretend they can't hear at that point. Okay, thank you all very much, and appreciate your guys' support for the channel. I appreciate all of you, and you know, I mean, sometimes it gets sort of heated in here, and sometimes I don't read shit the right way, and that's just kind of the way it is. You know, what doesn't work though is when you comment, and then 20 minutes later you say, "Did you see what I say, Gray? Did you see what I said?" And then I said, "No, I didn't see what you..." Then I have to stop the show and scroll up to go find the comment. And it's just weird. I mean, just restate it again, you know? I don't understand. Why waste I see the other 2 that you said. So if you have something that I missed, just type it in again. The whole thing. In context, so I know what you're talking about. That makes sense. Like Cindy was doing. Well, that's what you were doing too. Is that what you were? So that's what Cindy was doing. She was trying to imitate what happened earlier. That's pretty funny. That's pretty good, Cindy. Pretty clever. Pretty clever there. Yeah. So, anyways, I hope you guys appreciate the way I cover the cases that I cover. This isn't the only one that I cover like this. I know this one really well, though, at this point. What they've got, and I think when you look at it rationally and think through things, the only thing you can conclude is that Bryan Kohberger is the killer. There isn't there isn't even a time where I go, I wonder. It just doesn't happen, because there's always something that completely just boxes him in. You get it? And so that's where I think that's what you get here. Now, if you want to go somewhere else, here's one thing too. Whenever I do shows and I'm talking, the standard that my show has over everybody else in terms of what I'm required is dramatically different. If I say something like, yeah, the DoorDash driver got there at around 3, they go, no, it was 4, Gray. It was 4, it's 4. Another show could say, God, do you guys hear Bryan Kohberger crapped one time and threw it through the 1122 King Road residence window? Did you hear that? Oh, wow, that's amazing. Where did you get that? Wow, that's incredible, everybody. Nobody questions the conspiracy nutjob channels. Nobody questions them at all. It's always really great information. These comments after the shows, they're like, oh, this was the greatest thing I've ever heard. Oh, you're the greatest. Great research. Great this and that. And they didn't research a damn thing. They're just inventing everything. And I make one little comment, and they want to know precisely what the... So I'm proud of that part. I'm glad that you expect that from me. I wish you would expect it from all the other clowns, literally and figuratively, that cover the true crime cases out there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So, thank you. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys later. See you tomorrow. We're going to get back to that trial tomorrow during the day, so probably another 3 hours or something. And that one's pretty weird. The ex-husband, what's his name? What's his first name again? His name doesn't pop into my head, but he attacked his wife, and then he actually got to cross-examine her. He took it over. It was really weird. They know what they're doing, right? Yeah, yeah, they sure do. They know exactly what they're doing. People love that stuff. But I think true crime deserves a higher level of sort of ethics when you're covering it, to try to look at things rationally. And you can definitely speculate and theorize on things, but try to keep it within the information that's been given. That's right, Trevor Summers. Made with his, huh? Yeah, we're getting to that part, Nikki. We're going through the trial. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now.
Yeah, I think they do show
time. I have not seen one person.
Not even one, Greg?
Not even one.
Dissector.
The projector.
Certified
human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher. Even drive on you like an old projector. Crime sector. Here's my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector. Freak connector. And I'm always gonna be a pop protector. Full of whacker. Interceptor. And I mean a little spectre with a vector. On a spectre without a spectre. Just remember, conjecture, I have no agenda, I'm a bartender, and I'll serve it to you straight without a blender, and in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal a true offender.
Yeah, so I'll just get right back to it.
Wow, Mary Lou, you really got into that one. You hear that? Mary Lou was just going nuts on that shit. And by the way, I'm really glad I had the system audio on, because if it wasn't, that would have been bad. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you guys later. And be safe out there.
Good night, everybody.
Pretty good, Mary Lou. Pretty good.